What is up, Barnhill family? Welcome to a very early 6 a.m. local Houston time live stream fight companion. Here we go. So I'm going to be totally honest. I have just gotten up about 30 minutes ago, so I have not seen any of the fights. So if there's been a banger that you guys have think this is the fight of the night so far or whatever, drop it in the comments and let me know. And yeah, this is going to be fun. Let's chat, let's hang out, and let's enjoy some Perth, Australia fights. I'm going to get the first fight up here. Tuivasa versus Sutherland. Drop in the chat. Let me know who you guys are taking on this. Also, let me know if, for those of you in the chat, if the audio is coming through good, if the video is coming through good. I'm kind of flying solo with this one today, so any feedback will be much appreciated. What's been y'all's fight of the night so far? I got to be honest with this one, Tuivasa. I've been a Tai Tuivasa fan for a long time, and I feel like tonight it's either win and preferably by finish or get your walking papers from the UFC. So I'm pulling for Bam Bam in this one. I think he can get it done. The experience level is different. Louis absorbs a lot of significant strikes per minute. And against Tai Tuivasa, who's pretty powerful, and he's got a variety of shots. You know, he can hit you with the low leg kicks. He can hit you with the body kicks. He's good with his hands. He's good in the clinch. I like Tai by second round knockout here. Let me see. All right, dropping a little promo for JDM versus Prates here. Also curious to know who you guys are taking in the main event. I think this one's been the most split of all the fights on the card. It seems to be right down the middle. Half of you guys are taking Carlos, and the other half are saying there's levels to the game and picking JDM. So drop a comment in the chat and let me know who you're taking. We got 10 in here now. Let's go. Thank you guys for joining us on what is, for me, an early Houston, Texas morning. But when you've got Quillan Salkilld, when you've got Prates, when you've got JDM, Bam Bam Tuivasa potentially in his last fight, Beneil Dariush, you got to get up early. You got to do what you got to do. So here we are, bright and early. Got my espresso in this morning, and I'm ready to rock and roll for the main card. Anybody taking Beneil Dariush? I'm curious. Dariush is, he was at the top for so long, but I feel like his chin is just compromised right now. And Quillan Salkilld is such a lights out, devastating fighter. What's up, Coronum? Thanks for joining the live. Thickenese has been rocked in his last two by fighters who don't have power. He's going to get destroyed against someone who actually has power. Yeah, that's a good point. And I was just getting things kind of set up when that fight was going on, so I didn't see the full fight. But did he get rocked pretty bad in that one? And that's the thing, you know, there's levels to the game here. So a lot of people are thinking that Jack and Benny have an opportunity to prove that tonight. I know a lot of people that are picking Jack to win this fight. I don't know so many that are taking Dariush, but I would be curious to know if any of y'all are taking Dariush. Let me see. I'm going to drop in the chat here a little poll for the first fight. Who takes the main card opener? Tuivasa or Sutherland? Do we have anybody in the chat from Australia? All right, there we go. Got the first poll up. We got the lineup of Brendan Fitzgerald, Paul Felder, and a freshly shaved head Michael Bisping. So it'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see. Do you guys think that Tuivasa gets his walking papers tonight if he does in fact drop a 7th fight in a row? It's hard to imagine they're going to let him go Tony Ferg style and go 9 fights on a losing streak before they cut him. I think tonight, if he loses, I think that we will have seen Bam Bam for the last time in the UFC. Let's see here. Coronum got rocked hard in the 3rd and barely survived. Clear first round for him, but the 2nd was close. But I personally still leaned Thick Nice, but he's having competitive fight with Morales. Yeah, and the funny thing is a lot of people picked Morales as the underdog. A lot of people thought he was a live underdog. It proved to be true. I guess that fight was a lot closer than a lot of people had anticipated. But yeah, you see levels to the game. These guys look really, really, really good. And, then you put them up against competition that they should kind of walk through. And it's not as easy as as people thought it was going to be. And then people kind of assess where, okay, is this guy really as good as we thought he was? Or did he do what he did against, sub prime competition? That's one of the things we started doing when we were breaking down, was we do deep dives on a lot of the fights, most of the main events, and a lot of the big fights on numbered cards. And one of the things we started doing is basically handicapping if a guy's got incredible stats, right? Like 90% finish rate and knockdowns, multiple knockdowns per fight, and, really, really high strikes landed per minute, really low strikes absorbed per minute. We kind of look at the competition and say, okay, is he really that good? He or she really that good? Or was this just against competition that's not at the level that the guys at the top are? And can we expect that? We just did a deep dive on the main event next weekend. And, on paper, Sean Strickland's got phenomenal takedown defense. He's got really good striking defense. He lands at a high clip, but is that enough for him to get past Khamzat Chimaev? I don't know, because everybody that Khamzat seems to fight, DDP, all these guys have great wrestling, great takedown defense until they get in there with Khamzat. So that's one of the things you really, really have to factor in, the competition level before you make these predictions sometimes. Let's see. Sutherland is not an easy fight for Shui Tui. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that there is an easy fight for Tuivasa going forward. And I know heavyweight's not the strongest division in the sport right now, but, I feel like he's a big name. He probably, when he was on that tear before he dropped 6 in a row, he probably got a nice contract extension, which allowed him to get compensated well. So look for the UFC to try to make names off of guys coming up if Tuivasa is to win tonight and stick around. I don't think it'll be an easy road forward, even if he does win. So I don't know. I had a lot of people in the chat when we were talking about Tuivasa last time say that he should go to BKFC if he gets cut. And I'm curious what y'all think about that. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that, discipline has been an issue for him. He mentioned being 330 pounds last time when he fought. I forget who his last opponent was. Oh, it was Taliesin Teixeira, yeah. That he had gotten up to 330 pounds prior to that fight and then cut all that weight. So, discipline's been an issue for him. I think the full mixed martial arts game, grappling's been an issue for him. Something like a BKFC may be more suited to Tai. They'd probably pay him a whole bunch of money to do it because he's a fan favorite and he would bring the fighting style that people like. So, yeah, curious, what do you guys think? Does Tai get his walking? I feel like Tai and Benny are the most susceptible tonight to getting walking papers, which is crazy because Beneil Dariush not that long ago was somebody we were talking about fighting for a title. Let's see here. Benny didn't look as drained at weigh-ins. Maybe he can get the upset. Still got Saul-Killed. Yeah, he didn't. Benny has looked really, really drained the last couple of times. And he didn't look as bad. But Quillan Salkilld, I think this kid is going to show us tonight that he may be one of those in the next generation that we really need to watch out for. Now, again, I've said it a few times on the live so far, but the levels to the game thing is a real thing, and Saul-Killed has not fought anybody even remotely to the skill level of Beneil Dariush, somebody who was a perennial top fiver for a long period of time. So I think that it's going to be a real test for Saul-Killed, but I think if he passes the test, he's going to show us that he is elite and that he's going to be elite for quite some time. We got 28 in the chat now. Thank you guys so much for joining, or 28 total rather. Looks like 22 on X, 6 on YouTube, and nobody on Facebook so far. So hopefully some more people will trickle in as we go along here. We got Tai Tuivasa walking out right now. Let me see. Let me check the. Okay, so we got 5 votes in the chat. We got Tuivasa 60%, Sutherland 40%. All right. So Louis Sutherland getting ready now. Bisping saying that these two are just going to walk in at each other and swing for the fences. He's probably not wrong. He's probably right on the money with what these two are going to do. Yeah, this is going to be a wild one. This one, I don't know that this one gets out of the first round, but it's going to be fun while it lasts. The Vanilla Gorilla, 7 first-round finishes, finished 8 of 10 wins, all by knockout. So good success on the regional scene, not seen the success on the big stage that he would have hoped to at this point in his career. Tai had no business losing to Teixeira. Sergey is finally getting another KO. Yeah, I agree. He should have beaten Teixeira. And he had moments in that fight where he could have won. That was the thing. He kind of, to me, he gave up a little bit in moments there, and I didn't love that, but let's see if he can get himself back on track. I mean, if you, at his point in his career, if you can't beat Louis Sutherland, it's kind of, what do you do? Where do you go? Nothing against Louis Sutherland, but Tai Tuivasa was a guy that, was in competitive fights with people that are, top fivers, title challengers, stuff like that. And if he's not going to, beat a guy like Sutherland, I don't know what you do with him from here. Peričić and Meldil Gaziev are at even odds now. When odds were heavily leaning towards Peričić, maybe an injury got leaked. I don't know. Yeah. Mike Yang, good morning, my fellow combat sports degenerates. Good morning to you, Mike Yang. It's an early, what is it now? 6:16 a.m. here in dark and cold Houston, Texas, if you can believe it. It's usually scorching hot this time of year, but it's been rainy and cold for the last few days. So, yeah, uncharacteristic weather for Houston. We got Tai Tuivasa now. Just off of first look, Tai does look a little bit trimmer to me than he did last time. I mean, like I said, he definitely, according to him, had some serious weight cutting issues for his last fight, getting up to 330 pounds. Half of it in heavyweight, you don't think about it that often at heavyweight, but you do have to cut weight if, you have to make 265 pounds. And Derek Lewis trains out of our gym here in Houston, and he's kind of he's the one that I learned that from, because I just figured everybody at heavyweight just kind of fought naturally. And Derek was like, no, I weigh like 285 pounds. Like I do have to cut weight. Now I think he's gotten better at it over the years, but 330 pounds is just crazy. Like that's an insane weight to get to for a guy who's, his frame is not all that huge for heavyweight. So he just put on a lot of body mass. So he does look a little bit trimmer this time than he did when he fought last against Taliesin. Mike Yang, who has both UFC and boxing on this morning. Man, I wish I did. I was trying to get a 2 TV setup in here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it. So it's just UFC, but I am interested in that Inoue fight. So let me know as anything big happens over there. Let us know in the chat what's going on. Corona, I'm crazy to think that Tai clipped Gane, almost getting him out of there, and has dropped 5 more losses since. And yeah, exactly. Like, he was in a competitive fight against Cyril Gane, who's about to fight for the interim belt. And, now he is where he is. He would honestly be on the prelims or cut already if he wasn't such a fan favorite and a big name. And when he does win, he wins in very exciting style. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to call the fights. I'll let you guys know when the time clock starts on my end. That way you can watch. You can like sync your TV up or phone or computer or whatever you're watching on, and dial into the same time that I'm watching on. So right now we've got the fighters being announced: Louis Sutherland, Joe Martinez down in Australia. I guess Buff didn't make the trip down there this time. So, okay, Tuivasa getting a big pop from the crowd. Interesting stat, 7-3 is a favorite. So most of those fights that he dropped, he was the underdog in those 6 fights that he's on the losing streak with right now. But I feel like this one's going to be just wild out of the gate. Let me check the poll again. Okay, we got 80% for Tuivasa now, 20% for Sutherland. So 10 votes, 8 out of 10 of you guys thinks Bam Bam is getting the job done. All righty. Red De La Cruz getting it started off for us. Let's go. I'm excited. I have not been up this early for fights in a very, very long time. But here we are. UFC Perth main card is underway, 5 minutes and counting down now. Tuivasa, Sutherland both feeling each other out. Tuivasa's taking the middle of the cage here. Sutherland on the outside. Both guys fighting out of an orthodox stance right now. Tuivasa looks like he's trying to find range with that jab. Nothing of significance has really landed for either guy. Ooh, Sutherland going for a single leg there. Maybe he saw some grappling susceptibilities when Tuivasa fought Teixeira, and he's deciding he's going to try to grapple. Tuivasa's working a sort of a guillotine defense there. It wasn't really to try to get the submission, just to try to, get the position sorted out and get a separation. Spinning back fist that just missed there for Sutherland. Sutherland's going for that leg quite often, going for the double leg now, and he does get Tuivasa down. Tai doing a good job of being tenacious, not conceding the position. He's back against the cage, working that guillotine position. His arms are not in any position to actually finish it. He would need to get that elbow tucked more under the chin of Louis Sutherland, but it did suffice to get him back to his feet. Let's see, Tai pushing the face, trying to create some separation. Louis Sutherland. Oh, big elbow from Tai. Okay, Tuivasa has looked good so far at separating in these grappling exchanges, being tenacious when he gets to the ground, not conceding position. Sutherland going for that single leg again. I don't love the way Sutherland is. Oh, Sutherland with a big spinning back elbow and a knee. Okay, these guys are really starting to land both on each other. Low calf kick for Sutherland, and again with a takedown attempt. Tai Tuivasa on top position now. Good sprawl and reversal. Who would have thought? Oh, wow. Okay, big mistake by Tuivasa there. He rolled and conceded position. Now Sutherland is in full mount with 2 minutes and 44 seconds to work. Okay. Not great for Louis Sutherland. Or for Tai Tuivasa, sorry. So looks like Tai's worked back to a half guard position. Out of the gate, I do like that Tai is being a little bit more tenacious on the ground, trying to reverse these bad positions. Whereas in his last fight, he just kind of conceded as soon as he got taken down. It wasn't a whole lot of tenacity to get back up. It does seem like Bam Bam is working to get out of the positions, working to better the positions, and he has gotten back to his feet a couple times already, created separation, and then started to land strikes. So let's see here. Still in the half guard position. Sutherland's landing some elbows. Nothing of major significance on the ground. Tai's working to get himself back to his feet. Looking to bridge up there, controlling the right hand of Louis Sutherland. Let's see here. Oh, Sutherland is looking to flatten him back out again. 1 minute, 23 seconds left in the round, guys. So predictions markets still have it totally split down the middle. 49 for Tuivasa, 51 for Sutherland. Sutherland still flattening Tai out in that half guard position. So if this round kind of continues the way it's going, it should be a 10-9 for Louis Sutherland. It was even on the feet, but the second half of this round, he's been able to control top position on Tai Tuivasa and land some strikes, make some advancements. So short elbows by Sutherland, nothing of major significance, but still he's winning these moments and winning the round. Tai can't allow this to happen in 2 and 3. Let's see, 27 seconds to go. Yeah, Tai's trying to explode out. Louis Sutherland's doing a good job of keeping his left side hip pinned to the mat and following him as he moves. So, some ground punches there for Louis Sutherland. About 5 seconds left in the round. Sutherland's opening up with a couple bigger elbows than the ones he was landing earlier, and that's the round. So 10-9. Did you guys? I wouldn't imagine you guys saw it any other way. 10-9. Louis Sutherland is the score for me so far. So a couple of things. Tai had a couple of good sprawls in the first round. He did have a couple of good punches, good elbows, good strikes that landed. He created some separation when he was against the cage. So not all bad if you're in the Tai Tuivasa camp. The downside, obviously, is he was taken down and controlled. And just looking at him now in the corner, they've got the camera on his corner. It looks like he's breathing a little heavily. So let's see what type of energy he comes out with. But he was able to create separation there and land some uppercuts, some elbows, and he was able to get back to his feet a few times. Also absorbed a huge spin. I didn't realize how big that spinning back fist was until they just played it back. Sutherland landed a massive spinning back fist followed up by an immediate knee. So here we go. Round two starting right now. Louis Sutherland, Tai Tuivasa. Big leg kick out of the gate for Sutherland. Tuivasa's corner encouraged him to work behind the jab. I would agree with that. Tai's got a pretty good jab, and to keep distance from Sutherland, he can't afford getting taken down again. Sutherland looking for that single again. Tai sprawling well. Back to his feet. Couple of knees there for Tai. Sutherland really tenacious trying to get the takedowns. Louis Sutherland clearly knows where his bread is buttered with this fight. He doesn't want to stand and trade with Tai. He knows that Tai is susceptible to the ground. Oof, double unders for Sutherland, and he does get Tai down. Tai's building his base, but he did expose his back a little bit. Nothing dangerous yet, but Louis Sutherland looked like he was looking to sink in a rear naked choke there for a second. Tai is now back up and back down again. Really good tenacity from Louis Sutherland here. He's in side mount. And he's got 3 minutes and 46 seconds to work. So not good for Tai Tuivasa. He's got to build himself back up. because he's going to drop 2 rounds if this continues. Louis Sutherland seems to be very content here, staying in the side mount position and the half guard position. He actually is walking himself back to half guard, which is, we talk about this all the time, Nick and I do, that side mount in MMA is not as good as the half guard, because you can pin the hip. It's so hard to keep somebody inside mount without just putting a crossface on them and laying on top of them. And that's not really what you want to do in MMA. That's stalling and you could get stood up. It's much, much better to be in the half guard position. And then you can throw these elbows and these punches because you're sort of pinning the inside hip of your opponent to the ground. So, interesting to see Louis Sutherland actually walk himself back to half guard there. We got 11 in the YouTube chat, by the way. Thank you guys. Welcome to the live stream. We got 1 on Facebook. We got 38 on X. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I know it's early for most of you. It is certainly early for me, but when there's violence in Perth, it's hard to sleep in. Back to full mount for Louis Sutherland. He's doing a really, really good job of controlling Tai Tuivasa here and just taking his time with it. Hello from Spain. Hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon to you, my friend. Thank you for joining the live stream. So Sutherland in full mount here. Tai's trying to turn, but he's going to expose his back if he's not careful. Sutherland does have a head and arm triangle position, but he didn't have the space. You need, if you're going to finish the head and arm triangle, it's almost impossible. There's Islam Makhachev, a few other people can do it, but it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's to finish it from sort of the mounted position. You really kind of need that space to the opposite side of your opponent to put the pressure down. Okay, Tai's back on all fours here, looking to get up with 90 seconds left in the round. Let's see. Can he get himself back up? He is back up, but he's not out of the woods yet. Okay, up, and he's back down again. This is the problem. Tai is just, he's getting back up. He's expending the energy to build himself back up. The problem is, before he fully solidifies his reset on the feet, he's kind of throwing some shots, and the shots are what's allowing Sutherland to get him back down. And, he probably should focus on creating the separation before he starts, throwing bombs again. Hamza, glad to catch the live. Thank you for joining the live, my friend. JPP, not here early. Are you where are you watching from, my friend? Let's see here. Finishing it from mount itself has become on meta and BJJ actually a bit harder in MMA, since you really have to adjust the choke until you find the perfect bite. Yeah, I mean, in BJJ, especially if you're talking about gi jiu-jitsu, there's so much friction there. You can really finish it. But in MMA, where you're talking about 2 guys that are shirtless and sweaty, and you're also, trying to grip your other palm with MMA gloves on, it's a difficult proposition. There's a few guys that can do it, but I don't think Louis Sutherland can. But he hasn't needed to. Really, really good round out of Louis Sutherland again. Just good control, taking his time, solidifying position before he attempts any submission. He's landing enough strikes of significance on the ground to prevent a stand-up of any kind. You got to think at this point that this could be a rinse and repeat 3rd round, and Tai may get, as Coronum is saying, getting cut. I think that is possible. Hamza watching from Texas. Yeah, let's go, man. Fellow Texan. I love that. I didn't know you were from Texas. That's cool. Yeah, it's been, I don't know what part of Texas you're in, but I'm in Houston, and it's been cold this week, especially yesterday, which is kind of uncharacteristic for May in Houston. It's usually like surface of the sun temperature this time of year, but I'll take a little bit of cool weather. So clear 2 rounds up, 2 rounds down for Louis Sutherland. He credit to him. He knows how to beat Tai Tuivasa. He doesn't want to get into a firefight with somebody who's probably a better striker than him. And I haven't really loved the way he's gone for the singles. He's kind of what we call it Frankenstein. That's what our coach, Crew Bob Perez, calls it, where you're just kind of like reaching for it. You kind of should get there with your hips. He's not really it's not a problem when you're fighting Tai Tuivasa, but you're not going to get those takedowns on higher level grapplers. In fact, they'll probably knee you up the middle. Okay, round 3, 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. Both guys looking a little tired, Tai a little more so than Louis, exchanging some low leg kicks. And it's just been all Sutherland so far, 2 up, 2 down. Tai's, you got to think here, Tai has just over 4 minutes to fight for his UFC career, because this is the last time we're going to see Tai Tuivasa if he doesn't get a win here. And honestly, Louis Sutherland with a beautiful takedown there. The problem is Tai, even for being a big framed guy with big, thick legs, he's not very steady on his feet. Like, that takedown shouldn't have, he almost got thrown to the ground there. He really doesn't have any wrestling or wrestling defense at all. It's unfortunate, but he just doesn't. JL, hello. Thank you for joining the live chat, man. Good to see you. Bright and early. So, okay, the referee now calling for some activity out of Sutherland. I think Sutherland's going to go back to that. I think he's going to concede the half guard position again instead of the side mount. It seems to be where he likes to be for the ground and pound. And it's honestly, as I was saying, it's easier to land ground strikes on your opponent when you have a hip pinned. Because if you don't, you kind of have to use your body to pin the top half of their body. And you can really only land these short elbows like Sutherland is landing right now. And Tai looking to reverse. But yeah, he can't get up in the scramble. And that guillotine is just honestly a waste of time for Tai. He needs to try to build his base back up and get to his knees. JL, I just woke up. What did I miss? You missed Tai Tuivasa get manhandled on the ground for 2 rounds and now half of the 3rd round. So, nothing out of the ordinary, business as usual for Bam Bam. You probably missed 10 of the last 15 minutes of Tai Tuivasa's UFC career, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, he's got to get up to his feet and get a knockout, or it's walking papers for Bam Bam. And honestly, I'm curious to know what y'all think. Like, I like Tai. I think he's been a fun fighter for the last 6-7 years, and the discipline has really been the issue. Would you rather see him in bare knuckle than to see him in, the UFC, where he clearly doesn't have any ability to defend a takedown? And even these guys, like Louis Sutherland, is a good fighter. No disrespect to Mr. Sutherland, but if you can't even get up off bottom position in 3 rounds against Louis Sutherland, you're just not going to cut it at the top of heavyweight. And even as light as heavyweight is, it's crazy to say. You can't fight in today's UFC if you can't grapple and you can't defend the takedown in any weight class. So I'm curious to know, do you guys think that Tai would be better suited in BKFC or Misfits Boxing or something like that? Let's see, 1:22 left. JL, Tai getting his ass beat again. Yes, unfortunately for Tai, he is. And unfortunately for Tai, again, it is all on the ground. So there's the whole story there. 3 minutes and 14 seconds of round 1 control time, 4 minutes and 6 seconds round 2, 3 minutes and 3 seconds round 3, and we're getting a stand-up. Interesting. That's interesting that there was a stand-up. Now, if Tai gets a knockout here, you will really question the ref there, because Sutherland was advancing position. He was landing strikes. That was a really interesting. Okay, wow. Sutherland just literally pulling Tai into half guard. Sutherland wanted no part of that last 49 seconds being on the feet. Honestly, Tai should stand up here. Tai on top position should just stand up, try to knock him out in the last 19 seconds. Looks like we're going to finish the fight with Tai Tuivasa in top position, which is interesting. Oh, and Louis Sutherland reverses it back to the side mount. 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is it. All right, so 3 rounds up, 3 rounds down. Louis Sutherland, decision 30-27 by all accounts. Tai Tuivasa is probably been seen for the last time inside the UFC octagon. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to interview Tai, but if he were to retire from MMA on his own accord rather than getting cut, that would be interesting. Let's see. It hurt. MMA Lion. There we go. Sorry, it's early my time, man. MMA Lion 1. It hurts to watch this for Tai. Yeah. But, in today's MMA world, if you can't grapple and you can't learn to defend the takedown, people are going to exploit you, and then all your other opponents have the roadmap for how to beat you pretty easily, and they're going to take advantage. Let's see. I just checked the results. Damn, Malcolm and the minus 1,100 favorites scrapped by 3 GM. That stand-up was egregious. Yeah, I agree. Zero urgency to get back up. Did not know that his career is on the line. Did he not know that his career is on the line? I think he did. I don't think he can. I don't think he's got the gas or the technique to get back up. It's just he's just not there. Unfortunately, he's not elite level as far as MMA is concerned in today's MMA world. He has hands, and he's been able to land shots on people. Thus far in his career, obviously prior to the 6-fight losing streak, he's had some success with his hands and his striking, and he's been exploited in the grappling, and everybody knows that he just is very, very beginner level when it comes to MMA grappling, and he's going to get exploited every time, pretty much. JL, embarrassing performance by Tai. Yeah, he's hanging his head low. What's that? 3, 4, and 4. So 11 minutes of control time on the ground, if not 12. Just another dominant, controlling fight for his opponent. 30-26 on some scorecards. Louis Sutherland. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what Mr. Sutherland has to say. All right. Sutherland shouting out the crowd. Asking him what is it like to have his first victory here in the UFC. He's like, I got to catch my breath first, Bisping. Yeah, Louis Sutherland obviously very happy, very excited, shouting out the Perth crowd. Let me see here. I will get this this next saying he wants to go to Serbia. I'll get this next poll up here in just a second. Rob, yeah, honestly, if you land literally nothing on your opponent, I agree with a 10-8. Yeah, it was almost 100% control time for that round there. Let's see. It's so weird when refs do random stand-up. The ref in the DDP Hamzat fight did the same thing. If it happens during the Strickland fight, it can change the outcome. Yeah, it can change the outcome in any fight. And, especially against like somebody like Bam Bam. My God, Bam Bam can knock you out. We've been sitting here piling on his ability to, or lack thereof, to grapple. But, last 49 seconds where Sutherland is on top landing strikes, is it really the right move to, stand him up there and potentially completely change the outcome of the fight? Let's see Eugene Behrman on camera right now. Let me get, thank you guys all for joining the chat. I see some new people commenting here. JL, were we supposed to be impressed? What the F was that? Yeah. Yeah, Louis Sutherland celebrated like he got a first-round knockout, didn't he? But, it was a dominant performance, but it wasn't massively needle-moving for Sutherland. But, he needed that. He needed that really, really bad. K Money, what's up? Tai on a 7-fight losing streak now. Yeah, he's done in my opinion, and I think rightfully so. I think Tai Tuivasa needs to head on over to BKFC. Let me see here. Let me get this next graphic up on the screen. I'm flying solo tonight, guys, or this morning, I should say. So bear with me, trying to get all these polls up. Who you got in this next 2 heavyweight fights to start the night? Brando and Shamil. All right. Just drop the poll for the next one. Let me know who you guys are taking in this fight. All righty. Let's see here. K Money, it was cut Louis though, man. That was whack. LOL. It's like a double. You think it should be a double cut, K Money? It was 10-8 because they took a point from Tai. I couldn't hear. I have my TV turned down really low, so it's not. I can't hear everything on the audio, and I was talking over it. Why did they take a point from Tai? MMA Lion. Yes, Sutherland did what he had to do. It wasn't pretty, and Tai had no real answer for it. Again, the ref handled it well. Yeah. My goat, the Blob, got it. Let's go, Blob. I'll never again pick against Meal Deal. Well, to be fair, it was Tai Tuivasa, so we'll have to see who he gets matched up against next. I can't say that myself just yet. Looks like it was a good thing it was an early card. MMA, that fight was literally, MMA MK55, that fight was literally a scam. Picking Peričić, so the GOAT comes out on top. Here comes Carlos Prates rocking a Las Vegas. I almost said Oakland Raiders. For those of you Americans in the chat, when I see that logo, I think Oakland Raiders, but it is Vegas Raiders now, I believe. JL, that fight made me want to go back to bed. I tell you what, man, you could do that, and then just make sure you set your alarm for Saul-Killed and Dariush. You got to be. I think that one and the main are not going to disappoint. I got a hunch. That fight was a scam. Let me check the poll here and see what you guys are thinking. Okay, Shamil, 8 votes. We got 75% for him. It would be helpful if I changed the, let's see, refreshing my my page here. Not to be cynical, but I imagine the co-main is point fighting snooze and the main event is a no contest. Oh my gosh, I hope not. I hope you're wrong, Jay. But what makes you think that I'm interested to know why you think the co-main is going to be a point fight snooze fest? Because I think a lot of people, myself included, think that the susceptibility of the chin for Benny and just the power and the accuracy of Quillan is going to make for a pretty emphatic knockout. So I'm actually curious to know your thoughts there. You might be right, but man, let's hope not on the no contest. That would be horrible, because I think this is a really meaningful fight at 70, because if Prates wins this, he's going into a title eliminator next for sure. I don't think he's jumping Ian Gary. I don't think he's jumping Elliott if they go that way. But I think we're going to get Islam Makhachev versus Ian Gary at 3:30. I think that's I think it's all but announced. But I think after that, you're probably, who knows what's going to happen with Topuria on the White House? Is he going to knock Justin Gaethje out in the first, second round and then get the Islam fight? Maybe. But I think either way, Carlos Prates is in a title eliminating fight next, maybe against a Michael Morales. So I really hope we don't see a no contest. MMA Lion Dariush is getting chalked out. Poor guy. Yeah. I'm curious, MMA Lion, do you think that that Benny retires? Do you think he gets knocked out and then retires? Because it's been a rough go for him as of late. Let's see. Jay, I wouldn't be shocked if Dariush is content with a wrestling heavy performance and if Quillan gets skittish in the bright lights, playing it safe. Interesting. Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. He is a co-main event now in his home country. You know, I saw the press conference. He's got his buddies there. You know, he's going to get a big pop when he walks out. So this is a different animal for Quillan. He's been on the UFC stage for some fights now, but this is a different thing. This is definitely a different thing. Let's see. I love this Paramount thing. Advertisement 5 out of 8. So I know after this advertisement, I've got 3 more. Dariush get himself knocked out. Imagine Dariush get himself knocked out. Oh, like imagine if Dariush gets himself a knockout. Yeah, I mean that would be pretty crazy. Not a lot of people would pick that. Based on the winners, have any looked good or like contenders? I'll let some people in the chat answer that one. I got up just a hair after 5 o'clock, drank my coffee, put my clothes on, and then set up all the stuff for this live stream. So honestly, the first fight that I've sat down and fully paid attention to was the Sutherland Tuivasa fight. So I don't know. I'm going to go back and watch the prelims after we do this live stream here. I do think he hangs it up if he gets knocked out. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Benny's got, I don't know how many kids he has, but he's got a young family. You know, you would think and hope that he's made some money, and he can't just keep getting starched, and that's not going to be good for him. There's some things Benny could do. He could go even to UFC BJJ. He's really good with jiu-jitsu. He could do some of these RAF fights and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think Benny sticks around much longer if he gets knocked out tonight. Appreciate all you guys in the chat, by the way. I know it's super early for a lot of y'all, so good to have you guys in the chat. All right, here we go. 8 of 8 advertisements is now done. Here we go. All right, we got a 36-year-old Shamil versus a 31-year-old Brando Peričić. Both guys right at that heavyweight maximum. Tail of the tape is pretty dang identical, and honestly, so are the odds. This one's just a straight up pick 'em fight, -110 for each guy. Freaky Rahiki will deliver at least. I like it. Let's see. He's such a likable guy. RAF or UFC submission grappling would be a nice change for him. Yeah, I think so. And, a lot of the guys that are, in the UFC BJJ would love the opportunity because, I mean, those guys are really good. And actually, the guy that just became the champion of UFC BJJ, Lucas Valinch, is a good friend of mine and training partner. I say training partner. I was kind of his beat up guy in the gym for a lot of years because we're similar in size. And, so somebody like, Lucas would be that'd be a great opportunity for him to get to grapple with a guy like Beneil Dariush, who would do a lot for the name recognition. So I like the idea of some of these, jiu-jitsu guys MMA guys that are good at jiu-jitsu to go over to UFC BJJ is kind of like a way to make some money, stay active, stay relevant, and, not obviously get slimed out by contenders like Quillan Salkilld. Now, I may eat my words. Benny may come out and show levels, but if he loses, that's kind of what I'd like to see. All right, so if you want to lock in with my time, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Peričić throwing a couple of kicks early on. Shamil definitely commanding the center of the octagon, working a nice jab. Both guys right in range. I like it. Ooh, nice straight two for Shamil there, and then straight to a body lock position. Hands clasped under the butt. We got a takedown for Shamil. Really, really good stuff early on for Shamil. Let's see here. Listening to you guys from Pakistan. It's 4:51. Keep up the good work and analysis. Thank you, my friend Muhammad. I appreciate you. Did you see Gaziev was bragging about how he cuts from 310 and said being a heavyweight isn't as easy? Yeah, I mean, him and Tai Tuivasa are on that same diet, which is crazy. I was talking earlier in the chat. I know Derek Lewis personally from the gym, and he was the one that first, made me realize that some heavyweights cut weight. Because, Derek doesn't get that heavy, but he will get to like 285, 290. And, he cuts weight. And his coach, our coach, Bob Perez, says he's pretty miserable on fight week, which is hilarious, for a heavyweight that like they're sucking weight and miserable. It's actually pretty comical. Just want to say I love watching your content. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate you being here. I don't know where you're watching from, but I know for most of you it's quite early, so we appreciate you guys being here. We've got Shamil, body lock position. We've got Peričić with his back turned to Shamil. Shamil's just kind of keeping him against the cage, landing some knees to the legs. Looks like I can't hear what the ref is saying because I've got the volume turned down a little bit so it doesn't interfere here, but looks like he's telling them to pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, we actually do have a separation. So that was, in fact, what he said. Peričić looking to throw heavy right out of the gate. Shamil's landed good with that straight, too. Oh, okay. A couple of big shots for Peričić there. I love that these guys are throwing right in boxing range, A couple of big shots for both guys. Nice body shot for Peričić there, leg kick. Shamil keeps leaning forward with his jab when he's doing it, and he's getting caught. I don't like that. Oh, another hook for Peričić there. Oh, big shots. Shamil's got a chin, man. Still on his feet. Shamil's got the clinch position. Wow. Let's go. Gaziev is eating some massive shots and still on his feet. Doesn't seem like it will be. He got the double unders now. That was exactly what he needed. Goodness gracious. Wow. Man, I'm surprised he didn't hit the canvas there. Guy's got an iron chin on him. We got a scrap. Who is that? Jay, I hope you didn't go back to bed, man. These guys are making up for the last one. Yeah, this ref is going to separate quickly. This guy's not messing around with the separations, so he's already close. Looking like, okay, there we go. Oh, I thought he was going to separate. I'm telling him to speed up the activity here. Shamil's grabbing the top of the cage there. So we just have Shamil. There we go. Another separation. So we got Peričić getting what he wants to get, another separation. Immediately throws a front head kick. Good jab for Brando. Shamil throwing too, to be fair. Yeah, Shamil keeps leaning forward with that jab, and he's getting cracked every time he does it. I don't like the way. Ooh, big uppercut landed for Shamil. Nice body shot. Both guys just absolutely throwing. A couple of nice uppercuts for Shamil there. Whoa! And I see why the ref is separating these guys so quickly. This is a great fight in the center of the cage. Let's go. Really, really fun stuff in the boxing range. All right. How do you guys score that first one? That's interesting. Brando definitely had the bigger shots, landed, and he had Shamil hurt more than Shamil had him hurt. Shamil did have those minutes, not minutes, but maybe a minute or minute and a half where he held the fight again, or he held Brando against the cage. But I don't think that should negate the damage on the striking that Peričić did. So curious to know who you guys think. Okay, so 10-9 Peričić. Thank you. I agree with that one as well. We got 21 in the YouTube chat now. Thank you guys. We appreciate all y'all being here. Like I said, I know it's early for a lot of you. I see some familiar faces in here, or some familiar names. I see some new ones. Let's see. Feels like since Hokit's, a lot of heavyweights just been swinging more. Yeah, it definitely seems like that. Hokit certainly has become one of the most exciting fan favorites very quickly. These guys are throwing down. Let's see, round 2 starting. Shamil looking a little weathered, looking a little bit more tired than Brando. So let's see what happens. Both guys right back to boxing range, just throwing heavy leather again. Peričić looking to set up that straight 2. He's timing the jab entry of Gaziev really well, because as I was saying, Gaziev, when he jabs, he leans his head. He has a really bad habit of dipping his head forward, leaning his head forward, and Brando has been picking up on that and timing it really well. Definitely the aggressor as far as octagon control is Shamil, but Brando is kind of landing the better shots from the outside. Brando's throwing a little reckless for me now. He was looking better in the first round. I think both guys are tired, quite honestly. Big body shot for Brando there. Nice jab again. Double that jab up. Yeah, both of these guys could use some head movement. They're both, and hell, credit to them, they both got granite chins. Huge straight right hand for Peričić there. Oh! Straight, beautiful follow-up straight right on Shamil. Body jab for Brando. Let's go. Good fight. Good fight. Both these guys starting to gas a little bit. I'm surprised Shamil didn't hit the canvas with a couple of those shots. Dude can absorb some damage for sure. Oh! Man, Gaziev, when he has a really bad habit of getting super tall when he backs up, and that's where those big shots are coming from. Man, this is so back and forth. Hand on the cage again. The ref's gonna get it off now. And if last round was any indication, look for the referee to separate here pretty quickly. Let's go. Yeah, hand up on the cage again. He's going to separate him. This ref, I like him. I like his style. He's wasting no time. You can be in the clinch position, but if you're not going to be active, you're going to get separated. You're not going to stall here. I like it. Okay, 39 significant strikes for Shamil and 92 for Brando Peričić. So, okay, another separation. We've got a minute 44 if you're wanting to lock in with where I am time-wise. A minute 38, 37, 36 in round 2. Another separation just happened. And we have Brando Peričić landing 3 times, if you can believe it, the significant strikes that Gaziev has landed. Now, Gaziev has landed. Oh, he hurt him with that one. Oh! That's it. Brando Peričić by knockout. Man, you just got to know that Shamil can't absorb strikes like that. I mean, he does have a chin. I'll give him that. He absorbed a lot of damage in the early parts of that fight, but you had to think that at some point, man, Brando Peričić, 100 KJL. I agree. Good to see you didn't go back to bed, my friend. Let's see. Heartbroken, amazing KO. That was a good scrap, though. I can't lie. Pure Ooga Booga, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That is, I literally could not have summed that fight up better than you just did there, my friend, the Tasteful Thickness. Brando needed that. Yes, he did. Props to the Blob Man. Let's go. City Kickboxing again, son. Let's go. Rogers, welcome to the live. It's good to see you, my friend. That's all we want out of heavyweights. Yes. Is it too much to ask for heavyweights just to stand there and slobber knocker each other? I love it. Look at Bisping, Felder, Fitzgerald. Not quite the Rogan DC reaction, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Ref had no business separating that fight 3 times. Yeah, it's a gray area, isn't it? I tend to agree with you. I didn't love that Gaziev was grabbing the cage, though. I think he was doing, and he was doing it a lot. It wasn't just like one time. And, you know, so, and that's the thing. You just never, the referee's discretion is something to factor in when you're considering these fights. And, you know, it may even be worth looking into who the referee is for a particular fight if you're looking for an edge there. But it's, yeah, I think that there's a case made for, you have to have some activity, but how do you define the activity? You know, is holding them there, kneeing them to the legs, you know, just enough so you don't get separated, enough for them to not separate? Should they separate because of that? I don't know. I'm interested to know, do you guys agree? Do you think the separations were too early? Let's see, ref. And the ref saved him from eating a follow-up. What a job. Yeah, he definitely saved him from eating a follow-up because he did not need to absorb any more damage there. I mean, I can't believe how much damage he took and didn't go down in the first round and a half. There was 0 positional movement. The ref didn't need to sit there for 30 seconds before he dictated that he wasn't going to allow it. Yeah, so that's the flip side of that coin, isn't it? And how long are you going to allow somebody in a position with 0 progression? If you're I am 100% in agreement that if you're progressing and you're doing damage, you should not be stopped. But if you're not progressing and you're not doing damage, that's where the referee does need to consider what he's going to do. Yeah, Gaziev had, yo, where is baby brother Kenneth? Welcome to the live. Thank you. And to answer your question, my friend, he is probably sound asleep at his house, if I had to take a guess. Nick is a night owl, and he is going to be going back and watching these fights, and then we will do a recap either later today or tomorrow. He is not a morning person. So, okay, Brando called him for that 100G. I think he deserves it. That was definitely so far the most exciting fight that I've seen. And granted, as I said, it's what is it now? 7:06 a.m. on this beautiful Houston morning. Yeah, so it's definitely the best fight I've seen of the night so far. MMA Lion, the ref also gave at least 1 warning before each separation, and he was consistent. Yes, that he was. Kneeing your leg isn't exactly Maya transitioning to your back. Yeah, exactly. Brando Peričić, let's go. He needed that win, and yeah, good fight. Let me get the next cards up here. Let's see. Who do you guys have in the next one? Moneyball, good morning. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you very much for that generous donation. You are the best, my friend. Thank you guys so much. And if you don't know Moneyball MMA, she's up and coming content creator in the space. we've had the opportunity to talk a couple of times, and yeah, look for some Barnhill Brothers Moneyball collaboration stuff here in the future. Thank you for joining the live, and I hope you've enjoyed the fight so far. What's been your favorite fight so far? I will admit that I missed most of the prelims because, well, you're in Texas too. It's just simply too early. All right, let's see here. All right, Rahiki up next. You guys got Rahiki in this one? Rahiki via KO. Freaky Rahiki gets the job done. Hope he doesn't get rocked in this one and shows some defensive improvements. Let me put that up on my screen. There we go. And I'm going to put a poll up in the chat. Let me end. It would be helpful if I ended that last poll. There we go. Who wins this one? Let's see here. Get to the live. There we go. Okay, having a little trouble with the poll here. Bear with me. We got 25 in the chat, by the way. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here. Rahiki by round 1 KO. Need Rahiki KO before third round to hit 5-leg parlay. Well, for your sake, I hope that we hit that. I'm curious, who were your other legs? Don't like Rahiki's super wide hooks. Needs to tighten up. Yeah, that could be a problem in this one if he doesn't. Let me see. I need to refresh my YouTube here. For some reason, my internet is not the best today, which is a bummer because it usually works great. It's always when you go live that the internet is not the best. Just curious, was that last one y'all's fight of the night so far? Those of you that have been up since the crack of dawn? All right, let's see. Nice. Yeah, fight of the night, definitely. Third world fight times is wild. This is supposed to be well, I mean, let's be fair, right? Like, we're pretty spoiled in America with the fight times. Like, we have some diehard fans of the channel from the UK. I would say the UK is our biggest fan base outside of the US, obviously. And I don't know. I feel like they deal with it so often. And I mean, in Australia, me and Nick were talking about that yesterday on the live stream that we did. It's a totally different fight culture in Australia because it's like we're used to watching fights in the evening here. Nick was saying it's almost like Sunday brunch fights in Australia. And when you watch the the reaction videos of the fighters watching the fights in Australia, they're always at like some breakfast restaurant that's like a brunch, like sort of vibey place like that. And it sounds like it's pretty funny. It's like, brunch and fights compared to, American culture where a lot of people are either watching at their home or bars and such. So I don't know. I don't love getting up at 5:15 in the morning to prepare myself for a live stream. I don't love the fact that I missed some of the prelims, but I mean, I can't get up at 2:00 in the morning. I do have a toddler that, kind of keeps me on somewhat of an early schedule, but not quite that early. What is this thing that they have made throughout the entire stadium? They're stacking plastic and paper cups throughout the stadium. Bisping said they like to recycle. I'm not sure that's what they're doing. Do they cheer for Rahiki, who fights out of Sydney, or Ali, who is from New Zealand? Good question. Maybe the crowd will be mixed. I'm English and I stay up till 4 or 5 a.m. most cars. Yeah, exactly. So, we can't have it all here in the States. So you guys are the real MVPs for the odd times that you stay up and watch fights. I guess they wanted to make the crowd entertained. Yeah. Let's see. Was that poll? Okay, the poll did take. It took me a few times to try to get that poll up. Wow. Okay, we got 6 votes. 100% of you are picking Freaky Rahiki. Did they interview Bam Bam after his loss? No, they didn't. But I'm curious to see him in the post-fight. I was wondering if he would retire from MMA. Excuse me. But, they didn't give him a chance to speak. So I do believe the UFC will cut him. So we probably may hear from him in the post-fight presser, but I think that was the last time we'll see Bam Bam fight inside the UFC's octagon. Marwan Rahiki showing the highlights of his Hardwick stoppage. I'm from Manchester, and UFC 304 still being at American time shattered me. Glad it did, though. Bilal versus Leon was terrible. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And they don't always, like, isn't there 1 or 2, numbered events a year that they'll do out in Abu Dhabi, where they will actually do the pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view anymore, but the numbered card, the main card will start at like a reasonable time for those folks in that time zone. So, when there is a big English fight, or for example, when Tom Aspinall comes back and fights the winner of Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira, if it happens to be in England, I can't imagine that they would make you guys, go in the wee hours of the morning for that fight. But who knows? Maybe they will. UFC is out of touch, and old Dana would have never allowed this stuff. This Rahiki guy is not going to have long career if he fights like that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's live by the sword, die by the sword, right? Rogers, I still feel bad for Hardwick's broken jaw. Yeah, for sure. That guy took a beating in that fight. Guys, we got 80 total, 28 on YouTube and 52 of you on X. I'm trying to keep up with the X comments as well. I can't see those as easily, so I'm switching back and forth to try to make sure I'm not missing anything and commenting back and responding to everybody. So I appreciate you all being here. Most of you have said where you're watching from. If you want to drop in the chat, let me know where you're watching from, what time it is where you're watching. For me, it is 7:16 a.m. in what is uncharacteristically cold Houston, Texas today. JL, is Tom even a draw? Hokett, Gable, etc. are both Americans and have more upside for marketability. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some English folks in the chat. How big of a draw is Tom in the UK? I guess that's the question. Because to answer your question, he's not a huge, Tom Aspinall's probably not a top. Let me think about this. I don't think he's a top 10 draw in the UFC. I can't offhand think of. Yeah, I would say he's probably a top, somewhere in the 8 to 12 draw in the UFC. So, I don't know how big he is in the UK. Let's see here. Tom needs another fight before people even remember him at this point. Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to get back in there and get a win. It's unfortunate what happened to him. I hate, that it wasn't his fault what happened to him, and it's he's kind of suffered the result of that. But he does need to get in there, and he does need to get a win. I mean, if anybody really needs a win in their return, it's Tom Aspinall. Let's see. Latino Del Futuro Rodriguez from Miami, getting ready for jiu-jitsu training. Let's go. Is it a little Saturday open mat, or is it a full-on class today? Let's see here. I have Rahiki, but rooting for Schmidt since I'm a city kickboxing stan. That's right. You are. You ride with CKB for sure. Let's see here. Moses Fernandez from Fort Worth. Shout out Texas. Is it cold up there, by the way? Because it's cold down here in Houston, which it's not cold this time of year, hardly at all in Houston, but it is now. Let's see here. Tom is somewhat well known in England. My parents, who probably don't even know what MMA stands for, knows who he is. Okay, that's a good test, right? You know, it's like we always joke, our sister stopped watching MMA when Ronda Rousey got knocked out by Holly Holm. She was a fan of Ronda's, and like she knows who Ronda is and she knows who Conor McGregor is. So it's like you have her, her test, like if you've fully broken through to pop culture, which like really, I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of been Ronda and Conor. Ilya's making a run for that right now, and so is Poatan. But there's those people that like I literally only know the fighters if they've broken through to pop culture, and and then there's the people that are below that. So that's good to know. Okay, so your parents know who Tom Aspinall is, even though they don't watch MMA. So that's there's an answer there from somebody in the UK. Del Futuro going to open mat. I like it. I used to love Saturday morning open mats. What belt level are you, my friend, if you don't mind me asking? Hello from Oklahoma. Shout out Oklahoma. Just one state away. Moneyball says it's been cold and raining. Yeah, it rained all day yesterday in Houston, and it's raining today too. I think that's why I've had some issues with the internet today. Like I don't think my feed is as clear as I'd like it to be, at least on my end. I don't know if I'm coming through clearly for you guys or if it's a little bit grainy, but it's just what we're dealing with today. Kansas City, Missouri. Shout out KC. Definitely cold in Dallas, definitely nippy in Fort Worth. See, Khabib almost broke him, though. I'd say a lot of random dudes know him, not women as much. Yeah. Tom dropped the ball by initially trying to slow roll his career after his debut web. Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. I'm surprised no women fights. I figured they get a lot of scrappy lasses down there. What was the girl's name? She just fought last weekend. I'm drawing a blank on her name. I think she's from New Zealand. Somebody commented. I can't believe I can't remember her name. All right, here we go. Shout two stripe on the blue belt. 50 years old, dude. I love it. All right. So if you want to lock in, I'll get back to the chat here in a second. 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in round number one. High pace so far. Some spinning attacks for Schmidt there. Same for Rahiki. It's so funny, guys will get hit with something and immediately throw the same thing. It's almost like a subconscious. That head kick looked like it got through. Didn't quite register. Rahiki with another spinning attack. This time a spinning heel kick to the head that missed the mark of Schmidt. Rahiki definitely commanding the center of the octagon here. He's definitely looking for a head kick. I don't love that he's shown it 3 or 4 times already with just, not even a minute in the fight. As he gets a little bit more seasoned and a little bit more disciplined, if you've got, it's very clear to me 1 minute into the fight that Rahiki's looking for a head kick knockout. And if it's clear to me, it's definitely clear to Schmidt as well. So, I think he needs to disguise his attacks that he's got planned a little bit better. But other than that, pretty high pace so far. Nobody's really there another spinning attack there again. At this point, Schmidt knows exactly what he's looking for to get the knockout, and he's a city kickboxing guy. He's going to have good defensive response to it. Let's see here. Rogers, no, it wasn't Casey O'Neill. She's a blonde girl. Who did she fight? She fought a Brazilian. She fought Bruno Silva. I cannot remember her name. Let's see here. If anybody thinks of it, let me know. So we still have Rahiki commanding the center of the octagon. Landed a nice jab there. He's using a nice up kick to the body. Schmidt now in the center. They're both throwing a lot of the same stuff. They're both throwing a lot of spinning attacks. They're both throwing an up kick to the body. Front kick to the body, rather. Nice overhand there. Looked like it landed for Rahiki. Oh, Rahiki caught him with a hook. Schmidt is down. Oof. That might have been a little bit of an early stoppage just off of first thought. Let's see how Schmidt is. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Beltran did his thing. It looked like Schmidt still had some fight left in him. It didn't look like he was out. He's definitely not out now. Curious, what did you guys think about that stoppage? A lot of spinning attacks, fast hands, landed that overhand, and then he slipped that hook right through the guard. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff for Rahiki. When somebody gets a first-round knockout, you can't really critique them, right? But the one thing I'd like to see him clean up is he really wanted one of those spinning heel kicks to register, and he kind of telegraphed what he was looking for. In the end, it didn't matter. He went to his hands, and so overhand here, beautiful hook. Let's see, it's on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Looks like he got 3 in. Schmidt was still guarded up. Let's see. I think it was. Let's see. Some controversy here in the chat. Good stoppage, bad stoppage. Tough to see how good he is. Minus 800, and the short notice guy took it on like 5 days notice. Yeah, that's for sure. You never know how good somebody is when they're a heavy favorite. As they start to get up the ranks, that's where the rubber really meets the road. Cronum, that was Rahiki's best performance yet. I agree with you. After the replay, I think the stoppage is better than in normal time, but it can pass. Yeah, maybe early, but I don't mind. Yeah, after I looked and saw, how Schmidt was getting up there, I think it was probably a good stoppage. Let's see what is. Let me get this next one up. All right. Man, this main card is moving right along, isn't it? Let me end this poll here. 15 of y'all voted. Thank you, everybody, for voting. 93% for Rahiki. You guys got that one right. Got 119 total in the chat, 95 on X and 24 on YouTube. I'm mostly monitoring the YouTube comments, but I am switching back and forth to X here and there. So, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody that has joined. I appreciate you. I appreciate you getting up early, most of you, and watching with me. And I'm having some fun. Nick is sleeping in. Nick, as I said, is not a morning person whatsoever. He will get up and watch the full card, and we will either later today or tomorrow morning recap and do our Sunday Barnhill Brothers drop, because we have to recap this fight so that we can get right into UFC 328. And for those of you that haven't seen it already, we did drop our deep dive into Chimaev versus Strickland, where we look at the fight from a grappling, striking, and intangibles perspective and make our predictions. I won't say what my prediction was. I will say Nick and I had the same prediction, and it'll be interesting to see if you guys agree or not. So I'd love for you to check out that video after this live stream, of course. Yeah, it's anybody got an update on the Inoue Nakatani fight? I was trying to get both like dual setup going, but it just I've got one TV running, and so I'm prioritizing the UFC for it. Let's go. 27 on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate all of you. All righty. How would you see Steve against the top five? Good question. So Steve Erceg, we're talking about, right? I think, I mean, he had his run. He's challenged for the title. He's still a young guy, relatively. I think he's 30. I haven't given up on Steve yet. Let's see how he looks tonight and or this morning. I keep saying tonight because it's actually not dark outside. The sun is out now. I've got my blinds closed, so I thought it was still dark outside. But let's see how he looks this morning, and I'll give you my assessment. If he can't beat a 40-year-old Tim Elliott, he's probably not going to be elite level. I just have a feeling Strickland shocks the world. And if Khamzat loses, do you think they do an automatic rematch or he moves up? That's a good question. I think it depends. I think it depends on some of the other matchup. I think Khamzat will probably want to move up if he loses. It's a good question. I don't offhand know. I'm leaning towards rematch, but I can't say that for sure because I think Khamzat kind of, even though he's fighting at 185 next weekend, I do think he's got his sights set on 205. They haven't walked out yet. No. What's your favorite non-combat sport? Ooh, that's a good question. It would be either football or hockey. Nick and I played hockey growing up. I love hockey. Like probably my favorite sport besides MMA to go to live would be ice hockey. If you've never been to an ice hockey game, it is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. On TV, it's not the most exciting sport. I do like, when I say football, I know there's a lot of you from around the world on here. I do mean American football. I like soccer too, but it's just I didn't grow up watching that. Although we do have the World Cup here in Houston. There's a few games being played, so they're getting the city ready for that, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. Maybe I've talked to a few people that say that the ticket prices are just out of this world. So I probably will watch on TV because I'm not that much of a soccer fan. Let's see here. But that's a great question. What is your favorite non-combat sport? I can see a world where Strickland does it, but you have to be crazy to put it in a parlay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, to bet on it just as a straight bet would be risky, but to put it in a parlay, yeah, that's a tough one. But probably do pretty well if it hit. You like hockey too, Rogers? It's a great sport. Great sport. Moneyball, I don't know. I don't love the buzz cut, to be honest with you. I kind of liked his fade. I thought it suited him. I thought kind of the gray on top was looking good for Bisping, but I don't know. Maybe the buzz cut will grow on me. What do you think of it? Okay, my sports rankings to watch is like this: number one, hockey; number two, NFL football; number three, golf; number four, MMA; and number five, rugby. Wow, so you're committed to MMA if it's number four for you. You must really, because Jay, you're in a lot of these chats, and so if MMA is number four, you must be a true committed sports fan. I salute you, sir. Let's go. Looks like they're about to do a Strickland. Let me get this other media asset, as it's called on StreamYard, up here. There we go. Start another poll here. They got a little Khamzat, Sean Strickland B-roll going on here. Let's see. Erceg, Elliott. I can never remember if Tim Elliott is an Elliott with one T or two T's. Here we go. All right. Got that latest poll up. Which fight was more exciting? This is a great question here. Which fight, I'm curious to know in the chat, y'all, which fight was more exciting, Khamzat versus Dricus or Charles versus Max 2? I don't know. I want to see what y'all say. Initial thought, like, is, Charles versus Max too. But it's like I'm thinking back to both fights. It may be recency bias. Neither fight was, my favorite fight of all time. I don't think it was anybody's, but I feel like just thinking back on both of those fights now, Charles was looking for the finish maybe more than Khamzat was in certain ways. I think I'm going to go Charles Max too. I'm curious to know what y'all think. Let's see here. After getting into MMA, non-combat sports seem boring. Let me see. Sorry, I lost that comment for a second. Nothing can replicate that feeling of a finish, but a far second is the NBA. Yeah, I like the NBA too. Before I had kids, we lived up in Houston, and my wife and I lived downtown, and so we would walk to the Toyota Center and see some Rockets games. That was back when James Harden was playing for the Rockets, and I was there one night when he scored like 53 points or something like that. That was super fun. I like NBA as well. Charles versus Max. Okay, Okay, Rogers Chimaev versus Dricus, because Dricus kept fighting till the end despite the domination. Yeah, that is what we all love Dricus for. He's never going to give up. In my opinion, Islam versus JDM is greater than both. Yeah, probably so. Charles looked for a sub and won on the feet. Yeah, and that was the thing too. Charles did win the feet exchanges. There weren't many, but he did win them. Brendan Allen gave a resounding glazing or praise of Khamzat. He says Sean has no chance. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that on the deep dive that we did. We watched some of that sparring footage that they put out from the Jackson studio, and Brendan Allen, he was in bad shape in some of those rounds, and he had that, what we call that 1,000-mile stare on his face, where he was almost looking like, man, if this is the top of my division, I don't know, hopefully this guy moves up or something, because I don't think I can beat this. So, Brendan Allen has been in there with him. Khalil Roundtree also said in an interview that if Khamzat moves up to 205, we're all effed. So I don't know. Those are his two most recent training partners. TJ Dillashaw, Brendan Schaub, Mighty Mouse have all been in that studio and seen him train, and they all say that this guy is just the freak of all freaks. So yeah, it's Sean Strickland has a heck of an uphill battle, but if he pulls it off, it'll be pretty insane. Let's see here. Amazing promo for next week. I'm hyped. Yeah, same. Khamzat beat up on welterweights until he got that Whitaker fight. Yeah, let's see what happens in this one. This is going to be, I think this is going to be his last fight at 85 if he wins. Let's see. Allen is hardly a trustworthy source. He made a your mom joke in the comment section to me, so now he's my enemy. There we go. Well, Brendan Allen, you are now public enemy number one. You can't make a your mom joke to our friends here. Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou should go into the UFC Hall of Fame. Yeah, that for being one of the worst fights of all time. That's Derek, and I love Derek. I know Derek. Derek is Derek is either going to just absolutely send somebody into next week, or he's going to lay an egg, and he's going to do nothing in between. And that's what Derek does. And Derek Lewis is, he's like, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. Derek Lewis is a casual trained person who trains, who happens to have the most ridiculous heavy hands, that just God-given heavy hands. There was a point in time where me, as a mid-30s hobbyist, was in the gym more than Derek Lewis when he was training for a fight. So, it's he's just one of those guys. He's one of those guys. He's got crazy power, and he has ways of finding it on you. And if he doesn't find it, he's probably going to get his ass kicked. And that's pretty much Derek Lewis. Heathen Minds, good morning, fellas. Good morning, Heathen Minds. Welcome to the live chat. It's good to have you here. It's a shame they want to build up a new star in Malkoun, but it backfired. How would he look against the top 15 guy? Yeah, don't know. I guess we'll have to see. We will have to see. Let me check the poll here. Oh, wow, this one's 50-50. Erceg and Elliott, 12 votes in so far and exactly split down the middle. And Lewis has an amazing ability to get up from bottom guard in full mount. That he does. That he definitely does. And he does not drill technique on that or anything. He just tells Bob Perez, our coach, that when he gets taken down, he's just going to stand back up. Literally as casually as I just said it. And and Bob's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm just going to push him off me and I'm going to stand back up. So that's Derek Lewis for you in a nutshell. That's why we know him. That's why we love him. Western Australia looks beautiful in that advertisement, by the way. If Hokett fights like he did last time, he is getting slimed out. That is a real possibility. If Josh Hokett stands in front of Derek Lewis and throws without any head movement, Derek will sleep him. I don't believe Hokett's a dummy. The stick is one thing. He's got his little antics, but I don't think he's a dumb fighter. And I think he knows that he cannot fight Derek Lewis like he fought Curtis Blades. I will remind you, it took Derek Lewis one punch to take Curtis Blades completely out in the apex. Larasenko even talks about, and Bob Perez and all the people that were there in Derek's corner that night talk about the gurgling sounds that Curtis was making, and like they had the stretcher coming out. They had he didn't need it, thankfully, but like they were prepared for that being a really bad one, really, really bad one. They said that Curtis's hands twisted inside, which I guess means an indication of a traumatic brain injury. Also, by the way, curious to know y'all's thoughts on this. Has there ever been a fighter who has a worse knockout history than Curtis Blades? I mean, knocked out by Francis twice and Derek Lewis in brutal fashion. I don't know many people that can say they've suffered worse knockouts than Francis twice and Derek once. That's pretty brutal. Let's see here. Thank you guys all for joining the chat. We got 26 on YouTube, 1 on Facebook. Thank you all so much for joining. Okay, Inui versus Nakatani apparently is happening right now. I will leave it up to you guys to keep me informed on that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the double TV set up this morning, so I'm just rocking with the UFC. But, yeah. Let's see. I'm blaming Bisping for that tie fight right before Andy said, I can tell you how this fight's going to go. They're going to walk towards each other and they're going to swing or something to that effect. Yeah, Bisping definitely jinxed that one for us. Black Beast by head kick. Let's go. I hope so. I let my bias out on that one. I know Derek, like I said, and we always try to pick, I will make my prediction based on what I think. And right now I am leaning towards Josh Hokett, but I do disclose bias and, Kevin Holland, Derek Lewis, those are people that I do know personally and that come to Main Street often. So I'll never cheer against them, but I do try to give you guys my honest pick. I feel like I owe it to you all to make a real prediction and not to make one that's based in bias. So I will always give you that. But I will disclose personal friendships. I don't have now. It's not like I know a bunch of UFC fighters, but the ones that you can look up the Houston fighters, and those are the ones that I pretty much know. Let's see here. I'm a big Khamzat fan, but the biggest test for Khamzat is Costa. Costa, for me, had the mentality and the skill set to beat Khamzat, especially the mentality. Yeah, a lot of people are riding high on Costa right now. He's looked pretty damn good in his first fight at 205, finishing an undefeated guy. Let's see here. Is Asakura just overhyped or was he cutting too much? I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Tony, MMA Lion. Tony got slimed out pretty bad on the way out. Yeah, he did, but it wasn't against Francis and Derek. But yeah, he did take some beatings on his way out. I defo go overrated for Kai. Yeah. Let's see. Rogers, any of the Barnhill bros heading to attend UFC 250 Freedom Fest in July? No, my friend. I'm not. I don't have a way to get in to the fight, and to me, just like going there to be across the street and look at a screen, and incurring the expense of traveling and taking my setup with me, because I would want to live stream and do those things and be able to create some post-fight content for you. I feel like I wouldn't be able to produce because Nick probably wouldn't go, and if I was in a different place, we just wouldn't be able to do the build-up content that I think that fight that card deserves. And yeah, to me, going there to be across the street in a park just doesn't have the same attraction. Now, if I had an opportunity to get a ticket, I would go, and I would just try to do my content before and after. But yeah, I mean that's like a once in a lifetime thing that you've got an opportunity to go to. There's gonna be very few people there, but to go out to be across the street, I wouldn't spend the money and leave my family to do that. But yeah, I know you're kind of near that area now. Are you going to be going to the festivities? JL, are they even selling tickets? I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. Let's see. Hogan is going to push the pace on Lewis. Think he'll implement his wrestling, and it will all depend on if Lewis can stuff a takedown and get back up to be able to fight for more than one round. Yeah. MMA, MK55, we need the Barnhill brothers sparring video. Me sparring Nick or just sparring in general? Because me sparring Nick doesn't look too good, I'll be honest. He's my younger brother, but Nick has fought professionally, and he trains 5 days a week. I'm lucky to get into the gym 2 days a week. I've got a full-time job. I do this content. I have a kid. I've got another one on the way. I'm married. So I am, more committed in things of life than Nick is. Let's just put it that way. Nick has sparred with some really good people. Nick, Yadier Del Valle, who's in the UFC, is a training partner of his. Nick did a lot of rounds with Matt Schnell, leading into some fights because Nick's a southpaw. Regis Prograis, the former world champion boxer, Nick has done many, many, many rounds with him. Rafael Alves, who fought on Gamebred MMA last night, a freak athlete, by the way. I can't believe he didn't go further in the UFC. Absolute freak athlete. Made quick work of his opponent, and apologies, I don't remember the gentleman's name. Who else has Nick sparred against that you guys would know? Dulani Perry, who was on, I think he was on The Ultimate Fighter or one of those shows. But yeah, the views on White House card fight week are going to boom. That's what I'm hoping for, my friend. We're growing at a faster pace now than ever. And it's all because of you guys. So we really appreciate it. Rogers is considering it. That's cool, man. Gone flatlined. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Poatan looks pretty damn powerful at heavyweight, and he doesn't look like he's lost any speed. Poatan can't retire. He just signed an 8-fight deal. Yeah, did you guys see Charles Oliveira signed an 8-fight deal as well? Seems like they're trying to get their big names committed for life. They do not want any of those guys going over to MVP or any of these other things. What predictions do you have for the next weird fight location after the White House? We already had the Sphere. I don't know if it's weird location, but maybe like somewhere in Africa or something like that. It's like Spain, a stadium for Ilya. Not necessarily weird, but something they haven't done. All right, Elliott versus Erceg is on. 4:42 left in round number 1. Really high pace out of the gate. Tim Elliott, awkward out of the gate, as always, rocking the purple shorts. Steve Erceg rocking the beard. Not mad at the beard. The beard doesn't look bad on him. Steve seems like he's very much trying to figure out the awkward timing and entries of Elliott, because Tim is not an easy guy to fight. Looking to gauge distance with his 1-2 there. Oh, Elliott caught Steve there for a second. Steve back to his feet. Nice 1-2 by Steve. I like that Steve's staying disciplined. I like that he's not, trying to rush in and make something happen against the awkward Tim Elliott. That's where you get caught in those types of scenarios. So Steve's just taking his time here, working straight punches, throwing some low kicks, trying to wear down Tim, trying to find that timing. Let's see here. Lots of stance switching for Tim. Lots of awkward movement as we're used to. Nice wide orthodox stance for Steve. Hands up, good fundamental, good footwork for Steve Erceg so far. Looking to time that straight on the entry of Tim Elliott. He looks like he's getting some of the timing and the rhythm down. Tim Elliott always dangerous though. I'm at 255 in round number 1 if you guys want to lock in with where I am. Let's see. Steve Erceg still commanding the center of the octagon. Trying to back Elliott up against the cage. Looking to time that straight too. Steve looks like he's picking up on his timing a little bit better now. A couple of those have landed. Tim Elliott with a nice straight of his own. Good hook for Tim Elliott there. Steve ate it well. Both guys still trying to find that big shot. Both guys still feeling each other out. Oh, okay, now we're cracking. Both guys look like they landed hooks in that exchange. 1 minute 50 left in the first round. Still anybody's round, honestly. Nice sort of modified overhand there by Steve Erceg. Switched stance for just a second and threw a jab with his backhand. Looked like a slip for Steve there, but does look like we got a little blood coming out of the nose of Erceg. Yeah, Tim Elliott is just so awkward to prepare for. I see Roger. Elliott is pulling out the bootleg dominant cruise. That's hilarious. Elliott looking for a spinning elbow. Yo, Joey, what's up, man? Welcome. Good morning. So still with 52 seconds left in the first round, this is really kind of anybody's round. I'll be interested to see what the numbers look like after this round as far as strikes landed. Nice shot for Steve, landed clean there. Tim Elliott with the takedown. Steve looking to get back up to his feet. Really nice job by Steve Erceg getting back up there. Separation, right back to business. So good stand up there by Steve Erceg. Tim Elliott's still moving around pretty well though. To be his age and ranked 11 in the division is wild. Yes, that is wild. All right, looks like we're going to end the round with Elliott on top. Drop a note in the chat, guys. Who do you think won that first round? It was pretty close. It was pretty close. I don't offhand know. I can't say. Morning, how the fight's been so far. They've been well. The Tuivasa fight was pretty awful. The last couple have been really good. Tuivasa just got wrestled and laid on for basically 12 of the 15 minutes. But the other two were really good. Let's see here. To be his age and ranked, ranked 11. That is wild. Tim's cokehead movement is too unpredictable. That it is. That's hilarious. 1-0 Tim, 1-0 Tim. Okay, Elliott. Looks like everybody's going Tim Elliott so far. Let's go. And in the chat, we got 16 votes. We got 56% for Steve Erceg, 44% for Tim Elliott. Kind of split on this one. There's Jack Della Maddalena warming up in the back there. Is it just me, or have these fights gone by pretty fast? I guess I'm not used to waking up and watching fights at 6 in the morning. All right, round 2, 4 minutes and 44 seconds if you want to lock in with where I am. Tim straight away with the awkward movement again. Steve's looking for a 1-2. I think Steve Erceg's looking to close this night with straight punches. Maybe throw a hook behind it. He's done it a couple of times. Tim's throwing that spinning elbow a couple of times. But, Tim is disguising it well. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying about Freaky Rahiki in the last fight. Tim's a veteran. He wants that spinning elbow, but he's disguising it well. And, whereas Rahiki was really just selling out for that spinning heel kick, which is fine. He got the knockout. He adjusted and he did the right thing. But against higher level competition, like somebody like a Steve Erceg, Elliott knows you're not going to be too telegraphed and have any success. So, as he progresses, telegraphing and hide, or not telegraphing rather, is really key. Steve good with the jab now. Steve has really found a range with that jab, but Tim Elliott is definitely landing some good shots in the close boxing range. Tim is looking good. Yes, he is. So it looks like everybody pretty much has it 1-0 Tim. So Steve Erceg needs to do some work here. Big shot there by Steve. They're fighting at a little bit closer range. I think Steve Erceg is a little bit more comfortable. Interesting that the predictions markets has it almost 70% for Erceg when everybody thought Elliott won that round. Maybe everybody's seeing Erceg kind of come on strong here in the second. Elliott gets another beautiful takedown. Really good timing on those entries for the takedowns for Tim Elliott. Tim is looking good. Yeah, he is. 39-year-old Tim Elliott. All right. Just over 2 minutes to go in the second round. Again, it's anybody's round. I think Steve has landed the bigger strikes. Tim did get a takedown. That was a nice hook there by Elliott, and then a nice one by Erceg. They're both landing some shots on each other. This is a fun fight. This fight has really opened up in the second round. Both guys very durable. Nice body kick by Tim Elliott. Yeah, Erceg has definitely found his absolutely beautiful takedown by Steve Erceg. Step in outside leg trip. Beautiful level change, working his way to the back. He's high up on the back. Yeah, he was too high up. He's too high up to. And then a beautiful takedown by Tim Elliott. Steve's right back to his feet. Man, this is a good fight. Good second round. I definitely give Steve the advantage in this round. I think Steve's winning this round. Let's see what happens in the final minute, because it's definitely not spoken for yet. Ooh, nice elbow over the top there by Steve Erceg. Looking for that outside leg trip again, but Tim saw it coming that time. Nice hook to a straight. Good sprawl. Good fight. Dead even on the significant strikes in round 2, 26-26. Erceg was looking kind of for a knee bar there, but it wasn't really much of an opportunity. Tim Elliott's looking to dump him. Erceg getting back to his feet. 22 seconds left in the round. Nice jab by Erceg on the break. Oh, beautiful, beautiful straight by Steve Erceg there. Tim Elliott is tough, man. The almost 40-year-old Tim Elliott. How do you not love him? Wow. All right, guys. How do y'all score that one? 21 in the chat, by the way. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all y'all being here. How do you guys score that round? One. Yeah, Corona, I agree. 1-1. One was Tim, two was Steve. It's all coming down to this third round now. My blue and gold socks. Erceg, shout out to you, blue and gold socks. I got Erceg in that second round as well. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us. It helps us out a lot with the algorithm. We're growing on YouTube like we haven't ever before, and it's all because of you guys. We're super appreciative of it. So if you're enjoying this live stream, if this is your first time here, if you've been here for a little while but you haven't subscribed yet, if you would hit that subscribe button, it does mean the world to me and to Nick. And we will always try to put out the best content that we possibly can for you guys. Round 3 starting right now. Anybody's fight at this point. It's 1-1. Tim moving around a lot. Superman punch there by Tim Elliott. Didn't hit the mark. Tim looking to grapple again. Steve stuffed the takedown well. Good jab there by Steve Erceg. Tim is such an awkward fighter. Credit to Steve for finding the timing and the range, because Tim Elliott is not an easy person to prepare for. Number 11 versus number 12. Great matchup. Steve looking to get back in the top 10 here. You know, former title challenger, dropped 3 in a row. He is on a 1-fight streak, if you can call it that. Looking to build an actual streak here. All right, about 1 minute gone in the first round. I'm at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Sorry, third round. I'm 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third round, rather. Still any guy's fight, still anybody's round. Really beautiful jabs by Steve. Tim is kind of walking into him. I like that they're fighting at close range. Steve, in the beginning of the fight, was fighting at a little bit more of a distance till he understood that entry and the timing and the range and pace of Tim Elliott. But he seems to be comfortable in the pocket right now. Beautiful head kick. Erceg, I think, is starting to pull away with this round a little bit. Nice straight there for Steve Erceg. Tim is moving in a lot, but he's not. His volume has gone down. I'd like to see Tim throw some more straight punches to work his way in rather than just kind of dancing in, but because Steve has kind of got that timing now. Good jab by Steve. Nice elbow. Yeah, Steve's kind of lighting him up at this point. Steve has really just kind of won this fight with straight punches. Good straight punches to set everything up. Very, very fundamental, but very impressive at the same time. Ooh, nice straight to the hook for Steve Erceg there. Tim Elliott looking for another takedown, and he gets it. Steve right back to his feet. Let's go. Let's see here. 1 minute and 26 seconds left. Erceg still working in the pocket. Good, clean boxing. Good straights, mixing in the body work. Putting something in Tim Elliott's face on the break every time to kind of disrupt. This is a good performance for Steve. He's really kind of run away. The second half of the second round is when Steve really started to run away with this fight. All right. Nice hook there by Tim Elliott. Steve's got to be careful. Tim's always dangerous. Looking for the takedown again. Steve stuffs it. Nice hook on the break. Another spinning elbow, or spinning back fist rather, for Tim Elliott there. I wonder what you guys think about Tim's ability to, or not Tim, sorry, Steve's ability, if he does get his hand raised, which I think he probably will, to get back into the top 5 and be competitive and maybe challenge for a title again. I mean, he looks good tonight, but we do have to remember that Tim is almost 40. You know, he is number 11 in the rankings, and he is a hard night out for anybody. But, you know, curious to know what y'all think about his ability to get back to the top. Let's see here. Jump in the chat real quick. Kopp would have killed Van. The UFC is hiding him. Yeah, a lot of people think Beneil Kopp has a really good style to beat Joshua Van, and I agree with that. You know, Josh is he's a Houston guy. He doesn't train at our gym, but he's a good fighter, right? But Josh Van is a very young fighter, and he has only been training MMA for, I think, 6 years. And like he literally, I think Beneil Kopp was fighting at a high level when Josh Van hadn't even had his first amateur fight yet. So future for Josh is good. I don't know how long we have him as our champion. But I mean, heck, he became an undisputed champion in a weird way, albeit, but at 24, 25 years old. So good for him. Let's see here. I don't think Steve beats anybody in the top 10. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, maybe not. The top 10 beats him, yeah. I don't think he gets past the top 3. He's really good, though. My blue and gold socks. Yeah. You know, I'd like to look at the rankings and see who we should match him up with against next. Do you guys have anybody in mind offhand? I don't have the rankings pulled up. Putting something in Elliott's face. Pause. Erceg versus Lonnie Kavanaugh would be a banger. Hey, I like that. I like that. That's going up on the screen for a second. Do you guys agree? What do you think about Lonnie Kavanaugh versus Steve Erceg? Tyra definitely subs Van. Yeah, Josh is his grappling is not up to the level that Tetsuro Taira's is, and that's being generous. It's not even in the same stratosphere. Tim Elliott is the original Yuri. That's funny. All right. We got Joe Martinez reading the scorecard. All 3 29-28. Unanimous decision. Steve Erceg. All right. As we thought, 2 rounds to 1 for Steve Erceg. Let's hear what Steve has to say. Bisping reminded him to pop the mouthpiece out. Bisping crediting his boxing and footwork. That's what I was saying in the first round. His footwork looked really good tonight. He said the biggest thing he was worried about was the takedowns and the unorthodox entries. He got the timing, and Bisping saying now 2 wins in a row. Steve Erceg saying Perth is the bee's knees, and there's 2 more Perth boys coming up tonight, and they're both going to win. So let's see. Did Steve Erceg just set the precedent for the Perth boys? Steve Erceg. All right. Back in the top 10, most likely. Co-main event already, guys. I can't believe this. Let's see. I'm going to pop another poll here in the chat, rather. Curious to know if anybody's taken Benny. Saul-Killed, Salkilld. I'm the worst at spelling, and Quillan Salkilld's not doing me any favors. All right, here we go. Got the poll up. It's crazy that Tim Elliott's still fighting, and even crazier that he's still ranked. Yeah, I agree with that, my friend. MMA MK55. I'd say Erceg versus Moreno, Kavanaugh versus Royval. Both good fights. Both really good fights. All right. We do have a Benny taker. Somebody drop a comment in the chat. Let me know who's taking Dariush. Interesting. Showing some highlight reel of Quillan Salkilld here. That head kick of Nasserat was one of the scariest knockouts I've seen in a long time. That was nasty. Moneyball needs Saul-Killed for 100% on bets. Let's go, Moneyball. It's a money-making morning for you, Moneyball. I got to go with my brother in Christ, Dariush. He's reflected on how losses and will come in, or he's reflected on his losses and will come in strong. I like it. I like it. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at seeing Benny. Benny's had a tough go. You know, I like Quillan Salkilld, but I do like my Beneil Dariush. Saul-Killed by KO round 1 or 2. Although this old guard at lightweight does not want to get out of the top 10. They sure don't. If you're betting, Dariush via decision pays nicely. There we go. Thank you, David. Let's go. All right, so they're showing Saul-Killd's record right now, or his UFC entry. Decision, KO, decision, KO, sub. So, and the thing about Saul-Killed that you have to remember is after he submitted Jamie Malarkey, he actually said something to the effect of, I'm actually a grappler. You guys are, getting to know me for being a knockout artist, but my grappling is where my bread is buttered, which I thought was interesting. It's almost like Topuria, he comes in and just starches people, but when you look at his record outside the UFC, it's all submissions. So he can definitely grapple as well. All right, guys. Co-main event. It is officially, what time is it? 8:11 Central Time here in Texas. Got 26 in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys so much. The guy named Saul-Killed, and he's fighting Dariush. This a crime. Let's see here. Let me check the chat. We got 88% on Saul-Killed, 12% on Beneil Dariush, 8 votes in. Get your votes in, guys. We got 24 of you in the chat right now. Get the votes in. Let us know who you're taking. All right. Showing some highlight footage here of Beneil Dariush heel hooking Tony Ferguson. You got to know better than to heel hook Tony Ferguson. He's not tapping to that. You can tear every ligament in his leg. He's getting right back up. Quillan Salkilld showing his highlights. Saying that he's an exciting fighter. Everybody needs to be watching out for him. Definitely agree with that, especially if he beats Beneil Dariush. Benny's the real deal. Quillan saying that he wants to be known as the fighter that he's must-see TV. You just can't miss him. He definitely is working towards that. When did we think we'll see Chanko? That's a good question, my friend. I hope soon. What's it been, 6 months since he won his Contender Series fight or so, if I remember correctly? I would have thought that we would have had a fight announcement for him by now. The guy's good. I'm excited to see him. When do you think we'll see him? Australian Tom Selleck. I love it. He does have that Tom Selleck mustache. Wins by second round KO. Let's go. Shout out to Tom Selleck. Walking out to a really cool version of Black Betty. I don't know if you guys know that version. That's a really, oh man. When I was getting tattoos way back in my younger days, that was a banger that my tattoo artist would always put on. I forget, I think it's Spiderbait or something like that. Black Betty. Look that up. That's a great rendition of a classic song, Black Betty. Very fitting for Quillan Salkilld. Huge pop from the crowd. I'm really excited for this one. Really, really excited. All right, we got some more Dariush votes coming in. 23% Dariush, 77% for Quillan Salkilld. Eight years ago, Quillan Salkilld was at the first UFC event ever in Perth as a spectator, they're saying. Have you guys seen that picture of Poatan at the UFC event? I think it's in 2013 in Brazil. He's like way up in the nosebleed section. Pretty cool picture. Seeing as he's co-main eventing the White House and is probably number one or number two most popular fighter in the sport right now. All right, Quillan Salkilld, Beneil Dariush. Guys, while we wait for Benny to come out, I am going to put my static screen on because I'm going to take a short bathroom break before the co-main event starts. Hang out in the chat. Don't leave. UFC appearance number 26 for Beneil Dariush, 36 years old, says he still has a lot of fight left. He acknowledges Quillan Salkilld brings to the table, says he's definitely All right, guys, I'm back. Thank you for that. I've been sitting here since 5:45. It is now 8:17. I was looking for an opportunity to take a short bathroom break. Let's get this up here. Beneil Dariush, Quillan Salkilld. There we go. All right, we are back up and running. Beneil Dariush just giving his final daps to his team or his corner, and now he's getting the Vaseline on. I must say the gray hair is growing on me as somebody who's got a few popping out myself. I respect that Benny just kind of lets it ride. There's a lot of people in the UFC who have gray hair, by the way. They just don't let it be known because they dye it or they shave it. So credit to Benny for rocking the Silver Fox look. Okay, let me get to a few things before the fight starts. I want to know your take. What if we have 20 pounds in between every division? I think it would be a great idea. Like, you will really think if you want to cut another 10 pounds or you should move up. It would make for so few weight classes, though. I feel like we already have log jams, in these divisions, some of them already. And if we had, so what would it be starting at 25? So would it go 25, 45, 65, 85, 205? Would you do 220? Like, what would you do for light heavyweight and heavyweight? Interesting. Could have been the worst fight for a bathroom break considering the BSD Dariush fight. Well, in fairness, it was Quillan was still walking out. So I was like, well, we got Benny and we got Quillan and we got the announcement. So I'm not going to be that long. So back in plenty of time. What are your thoughts on Taylor Sheridan producing an MMA show or movie? That'd be cool. I mean, I don't know how that guy would fit anything else into his schedule right now. It's like honestly impressive the amount of shows that guy, he must be making a fortune. Um, I was a big fan of Yellowstone. Landman is cool. I started watching Marshall's, like the post Yellowstone Casey story. I watched a few episodes. I haven't really gotten into it yet. I'm more interested in the Beth and Rip spinoff that they're doing. So we'll see. I'll give Marshall's a little bit more of a chance. But what would you think about it? I think that'd be pretty cool. Taylor Sheridan seems like he can't miss right now. I'm talking about from lightweight to middleweight, 20 pounds difference. So then it would be 55, 75, 95, 215. It'd be interesting. That's for sure. It definitely would encourage people to not weight cut as much. All right, here we go. So round one, Quillan Salkilld, Beneil Dariush, 4 minutes, 54 seconds if you want to lock into where I am. Quillan throwing a straight right out of the gate. Big, heavy kick. Benny easily gets out of the way of it. Benny's a veteran. Quillan needs to take his time here. He needs to set things up. He can't just, Benny looked like he clipped him there. Right out of the gate. Quillan looking for a takedown. Wow. Beneil Dariush, man, the Silver Fox. You can't, man, these lightweight vets just don't go away, do they? Justin Gaethje's fighting for an undisputed title in a couple of weeks. Couple of months, rather, or next month. 155, like if Poirier was still around, Beneil Dariush, these guys just do not go away. Yeah, Quillan, he's good. He tried to approach that fight like he's approached every other fight where he just comes out and just kind of starts throwing heavy right out of the gate without setups. It works against good competition. It does not work against great competition. And Beneil Dariush is that. Benny on the back now, looking to get that takedown. So far, Quillan's done a good job of defending the takedown. Shout out Mayor of Kingstown, too. That's a great show, Rogers. Love that show. Building back up to his feet. What I'm most interested to see is now that the UFC is on Paramount and all of Taylor's stuff is on Paramount, if we'll see cameo appearances from popular fighters in Taylor Sheridan shows. Quillan's still trying to break and get some separation here. Beneil's got a good sort of over-under 50-50 position. Nobody's really got a clear-cut advantage here. Okay, Quillan's looking to pummel. Saul-Killd's definitely looking for the separation so he can get back to striking. But he needs to be a little bit more cautious with his striking and set things up. Work a jab, work some feints. Joey, Jack Prates will be starting just as I need to leave for work. How dare the UFC not cater to my American needs? I know, how dare they not put a fight card on right at the time that's convenient for us Americans. It's so funny because we were talking about that, and it's like we can't complain too much because, you know, the real fans are you folks at these odd times that still get up and don't miss a single fight from the early prelims onto the main event. But that sucks. You have to go to work, man. Maybe if there's going to be a quick finish here, then we could get something, but that's a bummer. Yeah, Beneil is just controlling this round. 1 minute 52 seconds left. Beneil Dariush looking for the separation there. Saul-Killed now throwing heavy. Yeah, Beneil definitely took a chance. I don't know why Beneil broke that set. Oh! Saul-Killed with a big shot. Beneil wrestling. Saul-Killed transitions. Big shots from Quillan Salkilld, and that's it. The fight's over. Oof. Quillan Salkilld. First round knockout, Beneil Dariush. I don't know why Beneil Dariush did that at all. He had the control. He had the round in the bag. And then he separated on his own terms to throw a shot. And then Quillan just was like, okay, if we're going to throw down from here, we're going to throw down from here. Big shots landed from a very powerful young fighter against a susceptible striker like Beneil. I don't know why Beneil did that. That was not a characteristic move for Beneil Dariush. Now, would the result have been the same? Would Quillan have caught him later in that round or in the second round or in the third round? Maybe. But I don't know why Beneil did that separation. He separated, and then, I'm watching the replay there. He separated, he threw an elbow, and then he had both hands down, and Quillan was in perfect position to start landing big shots. And then that hook was just the one that did it. Sits Beneil down with that shot. But that was a beautiful transition to the back by Quillan Salkilld there after he knocked Beneil down. Got himself to the right position, got out of the wrestle initiative of Beneil, transitioned and finished the show. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Time to retire. Smoked him 100K. Beneil wanted no part of that striking. That was tough for Beneil. That's it. Beneil's done. Yeah, real bummer. Saul-Killed. Joey, are you saying real bummer in the sense that you have to go to work, or the sense that Beneil got knocked out? Beneil seems to have been chancing it since his win against Gamrot. He did this against Armand Charles and Benoit. Yeah. I don't know why he did. I don't know what that was about, but I don't want to take anything away from Quillan, because that was really clean. The finish was good. The power's there, the transition on the ground, the way he maintained his composure and the shot selection that he used, not just shot selection, but the technical moves to get to the back turtle position and then throw those finishing shots. Like, really good for Saul-Killed. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I just don't know why Beneil separated there when he had that round pretty much in the bag. All right. Let's see what happens here. Does Beneil retire? Do you guys think Beneil Dariush uses this opportunity to call it a day? TKO round number 1. Quillan Salkilld. I think Beneil should talk to RAF and get some matches there. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier in the chat. You know, David, UFC, BJJ, RAF, those are great opportunities for him. And he's a good grappler, so I'd like to see him do that. Let's see what Quillan has to say. Quillan saying he's very strong in the clinch, very tough guy. ended up having a bit of a scrap. He did say that the elbow buzzed him. So maybe it was a good move by Benny. The elbow did buzz him, but he just responded really well. Really good stuff. He should retire and become a head coach with King's MMA. Yeah, that would be really good. Benny's got a wealth of knowledge. He'd be a great coach. People used to say Dariush was Islam's toughest fight. Crazy what happens with time. I said that too at one point, probably 4 years ago, and what a difference some time makes. Do I play any of the UFC games or not for me? I'm not a big gamer in general. Thank you for asking, but we were just talking about that earlier in the chat. I wouldn't mind getting the UFC 6. It looks pretty fun. Did Quillan call somebody out? I'm trying to listen. I have my TV turned down so it's not interfering with the audio. I couldn't hear if he called somebody out or not. Give him the loser of Patty and Benoit. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Quillan Salkilld. All right. Yeah, I don't hate the loser of Patty and Benoit, but I feel like where was Benny ranked? I'd have to go back. I don't remember what Benny's ranking was. It's going to be interesting because Quillan will have a good ranking. Dariush should have gotten his title shot after his career best run and performance over Gamrot. They even passed him over and gave the late short notice to Moicano, and look what happened there. Yeah, I do agree with that. Benny did get kind of shafted there. That's unfortunate. All right. All that's left is the main event. JDM Carlos Prates. Let me change this graphic here. Della Maddalena versus Prates. Let's go. UFC Perth. I'm going to put another poll up in the chat. Let me end the current poll. Main event winner. I can't believe we're already at the main event, guys. JDM. Or Prates. Let's go. Joey, how did Tuivasa look? Really bad. He looked like he's going to be cut from the UFC, to be honest with you. He just can't. He cannot defend a takedown, and he cannot get back up to his feet when he's taken down. And everybody knows it. And Sutherland is not the best grappler in the UFC in the heavyweight division by any stretch, and he had no problem controlling Tai the entire fight. Thank you, Rogers. Benny was number 12. Okay, so Quillan Salkilld will probably not be in the top 10, but he will be in the top 15, probably 11 or 12. So maybe number 10. Maybe it depends on how heavy the rankers, as they are, favor that quick finish. Joey, shout out to your coworker. He's the real MVP, he or she, if they come through. I work at an event venue, so there aren't any customers waiting on me or anything. I'm in desperation mode. Dude, I know the feeling. That's no fun. All right. Here we go, guys. Main event time. And it is 8:32 a.m. Houston Central Time. That is a pretty cool stadium. It reminds me of an IKEA. They're building an IKEA out by where I live. It's like those blue and yellows. Bobby Knuckles. I'm excited to see him at light heavyweight. Does anybody have any news on Rob? When's he coming back? I heard he was fighting Ankalaev, but then I heard that was BS. So I don't know. Anybody got any Robert Whittaker news? Will this be another one-rounder? David, that's a good question. Could be. If it is, I think Prates wins. If this goes longer, it favors Jack. Aussies have done well, but will Jack go down? Mohammed, I don't know. It's been a very good night for the Australians so far. I picked Prates to win. My brother Nick, who's usually on the live stream with me, picked Jack. So we were split on this one. Have you watched Ozark? It's on Netflix if you haven't. Yes, I have watched Ozark. That's a great show. Marty and Wendy Bird. That's a good show. Jason Bateman's a great actor. Oh, Jay Ellie's fighting Krylov. Is that right? Is that announced? I did not know that. Good deal. June or July. Okay, good deal. That's a good fight. I was kind of worried about Ankalaev being his first fight, to be honest with you. I'd like to see Rob get in there and do some things at light heavyweight. All right, here we go. Here's the promotion. This guy's got aura, as the young kids say, Carlos Prates. He's fun, man. He's undeniable. He's a fun guy to watch. Let's check the chat and see who you guys are taking in the main event. Okay. 58% JDM so far, 42% Carlos Prates. 12 votes. All right, so we're kind of split on this one. He's saying he's going to beat JDM and then he hopes to get a title shot after that. I don't know if he's going to get a title shot, but he will be in a number one contenders fight, that's for sure. Jack is a volume guy, not some one-hitter quitter. So I'm confused why he's plus 350 by decision and plus 250 by TKO. Yeah, that is kind of questionable there. If you like Jack in this one, that's actually not a bad play. K Money, Carlos Prates, round 2 KO. I think I picked 2 or 3. I can't remember when we did our predictions video. It was either round 2 or 3. I'd have to go back and look. But I'm right there with you. If JDM wins, then he would fight Morales. Yeah, that'd be a good fight too. I think the winner of this fight's Morales regardless. Unless he's already got a fight book that we don't know about, and then he loses it, then he wouldn't be. The winner of this would not fight somebody coming off a loss. The winner of this is fighting somebody for a number one contenders fight. Man, I cannot wait for this fight. This is going to be a fun one. Got 23 in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I know it's early for a lot of us. It is for me. But let's go. Great fight so far. Great night for the Australians. JDM never lost by knockout, Prates said. So just like Leon Edwards, he's going to give him his first knockout. Who's your favorite fight announcer? Mine is Jimmy Lennon Jr. I would love to hear him in the UFC. I like Jimmy Lennon. I mean, I think I'm a sucker for Bruce Buffer, if I'm being honest. I think Bruce Buffer is just because I'm such a UFC sellout. Like, I think Bruce is probably my favorite. I actually don't mind Joe Martinez. There's a lot of Mexican, Central American, South American fighters in the UFC now, and he does a phenomenal job with the Spanish. So I like Joe Martinez. I do love Jimmy Lennon Jr. He had that classic voice, Floyd Money Mayweather. He did have a really nice sound. I don't see much of him anymore. I'll tell you who I don't like, and I usually don't throw shade, but this guy just rubs me the wrong way, is that dreadlocks guy from DAZN. He's like, the fact that he says the name twice drives me crazy. Like, he's like, for example, Carlos Prates, fighting out of the blue corner, we got Carlos Prates. Like, he waits like a couple seconds and then he says the last name again. I don't know why he does that. And I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that guy. But shout out to him. He's announcing on a big stage. But yeah, Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s got that classic voice. Mike Buffer's a classic too. You got to love Mike. I'm still shocked at how many shots Shamil took tonight, like WTF, Hercules, AAI. Thank you for joining the live chat. Yeah, he ate some shots. Dude's got a chin on him. Prates is so cool. Yeah, he is. He's got aura, as the kids say. But yeah, oh wow, I've never heard that. I've never heard him. That sounds terrible. Yeah, he's with DAZN a lot. He does a lot of the DAZN boxing stuff. I don't know what his name is, but he's a kind of a skinny looking white guy, long dreadlocks, and he does the last name twice, and it drives me insane. I don't know why. I don't know why he does it, but I don't know why it bothers me as much as it does either. Maybe that's something I need to look into. 6:38 p.m. in Islamabad. We'll head for dinner after this fight. Let's go. Thanks for letting me know, Muhammad. I like the MMA announcers. They have excitement, unlike in boxing. It feels like they're monotone. Yes, sometimes the boxers do feel that way. Also, not sure if you saw the Louis fight. He actually impressed me for a short notice. Poor Tai. I did. He looked good, and he did look good on short notice. Tai Tuivasa is done. I think his days in the UFC are over. 7 losses in a row. He can't beat an unranked guy. He can't even get off the ground against an unranked guy. I think it's time for Tai to move on to bare knuckle, and I think he'll be happier there. I think the UFC will be happier with him there, and he'll make whether it's Misfits Boxing, bare knuckle, Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing. There's a market for Tuivasa. He's a fun fighter, but he's not he's a fun fighter, but he's not an MMA fighter, right? He's not a complete mixed martial artist, and it's 2026. You have to be good at everything if you want to fight in the UFC. You really do, or you're going to be 0-7. And quite honestly, he would have gotten his walking papers a few fights ago if he wasn't a fan favorite. Maybe Tai should welcome Gable into the UFC. God, can you imagine? Now I think Tai's going to be done. All right, here comes Jack. I like the music. AC/DC, classic Jack Della Maddalena. Listen to that Aussie crowd. I love it. Who is looking confident? Prates always looks confident. I don't even question that. Let's see how Jack looks coming out of the gate. Joey, no, man. Not looking good for me. Going to be crying in the car as I miss this fight. That's a bummer, dude. That's a bummer. But thanks for hanging out with us while you did. Hope you have a good day at work. And yeah, that sucks. Prates is southpaw, so the one thing he should learn from Islam fight is the leg kicks. Great point. Good insight there. Jack's looking like Jack. I don't think he looks overconfident or underconfident to me, to answer that question. What do you guys think? Optics, body language. What do you guys think about that JT Lines guy? He draws that straight line or curved line for the main events. I think he was right on every main event this year except for the last one. And he did pick Prates, so we'll see. How much of the Islam loss would affect JD and mentally? It may. You never know until you see, because he was on an 18-fight win streak. So you never know how somebody's going to react to a loss when they haven't lost in 18 fights. The good news is I know he knows that that Prates is not going to bring the same type of fight to him that Islam did. Prates is not looking to take him down and hold him down and try to submit him. That's not the game here for Prates. If Usman versus Morales happens, who are you picking? Morales. But I would not discount Kamaru. It's not like Islam hurt Jack. It was just a wet blanket approach. Yeah, Islam will grapple you for 25 minutes, and if he can find a sub, he will take it. but he's not going to compromise position to get us up. Jack looked somewhat timid at the ceremonials. Yeah. I think the leaning back was what is everybody saying. You know, he leaned back against Islam and he leaned back against Prates. So I don't know. I don't read as much into that stuff, but some people think it's worth looking into. Oh wow! Fight straight out of the gate. Wow. These guys are ready to go before the bell even rings. How about that for body language? We're talking about body language here. All right, guys, let's go. Main event. We are heating up. Let's go. The body language and the analytics love the face-offs. That means nothing. I am hyped. Let's go. Me too, David. Me too. Jay, hopefully Prates doesn't end up on one of those when trash talking goes wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're uber confident, there are people that want to see you lose, and there's just as many people that love you too. But you know how that goes. So when you're overconfident and you don't come through, people tend to rag you. This bout to be a banger. Yes, it is. K Money. Here we go. Joe Martinez. Let's go, guys. If you haven't dropped your prediction in the chat, drop it now. A lot of JDM votes. 20 total votes, 65% JDM, 35% for Carlos Prates. Lots of security in the cage. Yes, it is. Remember when Mikhaev and Kopp had that huge scuffle in the cage, but the fight was a dud? Yeah, I do remember that. Hopefully I don't think this will be that. I hope not either. All right, let's go, guys. We got 28 in the YouTube chat. Thank you all for being here. And it is now 8:45 Central Time here in Houston, Texas. The sun is out, and the main event is ready. Let's go. I like Joe Martinez. Talking about announcers. I don't think he gets enough shine. The make some noise if you are ready it's a good tagline. I mean, it's time is classic, but Joe Martinez, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Here we go. Cannot wait for this fight. I cannot wait either. We got 30 in the chat now. Let's go. Everybody get those predictions in. If you haven't gotten those predictions in, drop them now. Carlos Prates. All right. Prates announced. Jack Della Maddalena getting announced too. Yeah, I think Joe Martinez was with the WEC for a little while. Based Volkanovski Enjoyer. Love that name. I love Volkanovski as well. This is going to be a banger. Yes, it is, my friend. I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to jinx it. You know, sometimes we say these fights are going to be bangers and then they end up not being. So let's hope it actually comes through like we all think it is. Okay, I'm back. Inoue versus Nakatani is over. Okay. Well, that I'm guessing it was a knockout by the time. I'm just trying to do the time in my head from when they said the main event was coming on. I'm watching this damn first round screw. I love it, Joey. I love it. Here we go. Here we go. They got Beltran in the cage. I think Beltran's the right guy for this one, right? This thing's a little heated. No glove touch is going to happen on this one. Let's go. Let's go. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, guys. Those of you that are just trickling in now. And for those of you that have been with me since 6 a.m. this morning, Jack Della Maddalena, Carlos Prates, main event. Here we go. The fight is on 5 minutes in the first round if you want to lock in with where I am. Jack immediately across the cage. Carlos is fighting on the outside. Bouncing around a lot is Prates. Jack looking to work his way in, work his jab. Jack wide stance, hands high. Looks like the Jack we always have seen. Carlos moving around a lot, hands down. Low calf kick for Prates that landed. Prates still fighting on the outside. Jack looking to cut his way in. Would like to see Jack throw a little bit more strikes on to work his way in. There we go. Some nice jabs, some body work. Nothing really of significance landed. Prates is moving like gone. Yes, I'm watching the chat and the fight at the same time. Yes, he is. Very light on his feet, very hands down. (2-1) for Prates there. Followed up with a low calf kick. Jack Della Maddalena with a body hook. Nobody's really taking control of this so far. Nice 1-2 for Carlos Prates. Did hit the guard, but still solid. Good jab for Jack Della Maddalena, followed up by a straight for Carlos Prates. Still anybody's round. Let's go. Carlos is working the low kick with a lot of success. Shout out to those that were saying that the low kicks for the Islam fight would be something to consider. Carlos is utilizing that really well. Nice jab for Carlos Prates. Jack is now against the cage. Carlos has sort of become the aggressor in the second half of this round. Really, really beautiful low calf kick that Carlos is working. Does look like it's kind of starting to change the color of the leg of JDM. It's a little red, starting to swell a little bit. Let's see here, 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first round of this main event. 1-2 for Carlos Prates. He does that 1-2-1 really well. I love that combination because it doesn't allow your opponent to really counter and reset. If you do a 1-2 and then an off-time jab after that, it's a great combination. Carlos doing a little showboating here. Ooh, beautiful 2-1. You know, everybody talks about the 1-2, but Carlos does throw a 2-1 really well. A lead straight followed by a jab, and then he's following it up with the low calf kick. Really good success with that combination. He's hit that one 2 or 3 times in the fight so far. Carlos is kind of bullying him. Kevin Holland. Have we seen Jack against someone this rangy before? Not in recent memory, not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. 36 of you in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I really like Carlos starting combinations with the straight 2. He's having success with that. Jack did get a little timid against Islam when things weren't going his way. I'm wondering if he's going to start to do that here, where he kind of keeps his hands at home and he doesn't really throw things as he should. So Carlos is definitely starting to take over this fight now. Beautiful 1-2, beautiful knee to the face. Carlos is definitely feeling it now. He's doing a little bit more showboating. He's been hands down the whole time, but he's starting to add some theatrics into it as well. Definitely taking over this round. Beautiful knee by Prates again. Jack looking for a takedown now, and he gets it. Okay, so that tells us a lot. Good one, it was a good takedown by Jack. Not going to win him the round. But that shows that, somebody who's very striking heavy is not liking the things he's seeing on the feet against Carlos Prates. Interesting. 10-9 for Carlos Prates. Yep, I think that was a Prates round. You guys all agree? I see Jay 10-9. But, yeah, let me know. Anybody? I don't think anybody would have taken JDM in that fight. But, yeah, I got it 10-9 Carlos Prates after round 1. Let's go. Still heavy on the JDM, 28 votes, 64% think JDM's going to win. I'm curious, I don't know if you can change your vote, but if you can change it after it locks in, I wonder if you anybody thinks that it's going to, anybody that picked JDM now has a different opinion. Carlos. Yeah, looks like everybody's taking Carlos so far. Carlos just said he's a bitch. Did he say that to his corner? Wow. That takedown came so easily, though. Yes, it did. I'm off. Appreciate the early stream. Have a good day, everyone. Joey, thank you, buddy. Have a good day at work. Sorry you have to miss the rest of this fight, but hope you have a good day. Was not expecting JDM to go for that takedown. Can totally change the fight. Rusted Spoon, yeah, it changed my opinion. Shout out Rusted Spoon. Thank you for joining the live chat. It's good to see you, my friend. Let's go round two. Okay, 4 minutes and 53 seconds into round two. Carlos is really feeling it now. But he's got to be careful of that takedown because that was very easy for Jack to secure. Now, I don't know if it was just at the end of the round and Carlos was like, I'm not going to expend a bunch of energy defending a takedown when it's not going to make a difference in the round. I don't know if that was his thought process, but it was an easy takedown, and that has to be addressed. Kamaru Usman chiming in. Love this fight. Jack's really not throwing a whole lot. Got kneed, but he caught the leg. Carlos slipped out of it. Okay, the predictions markets have Prates up 60-40 after that round. That's kind of what the sentiment feels like. I doubt it comes as easy in the center of the cage. Definitely needs to get to the fence. 100%. Yeah. He's got to get him to the fence if he wants to get that takedown again. I don't think he can open mat takedown Carlos Prates. JDM hopefully wrestle smudges his way to a decision. Hamza. Yeah, I don't know that a lot of people share that sentiment, but maybe. Yeah, I mean that may be the case here. He gets another takedown there. Oh, he's on Prates' back. Okay, Prates is back up. He shook him off. Good stuff. Nice 1-2 there for Carlos Prates. Prates is really, really decisively winning the stand-up here. It's just the takedowns of Jack. Carlos is really starting to find that knee, too. He's so much taller and so long, he can find that knee to the face, very easily on Jack. Jack's got some welting on his side, too, from some of the body kicks. Prates still playing that outside really well. He went to the 1-2 again, but he mixed it up to the straight was to the body. Jack is walking him down, but Jack's really not throwing anything. Jack is just he's not being active enough. If he wants to get those takedowns, he needs to work his strikes a little bit more on the way in. There he goes. Prates defending the takedown again. Jack looking for an inside leg trip. Nothing doing there. Shout out to everybody in the live. We got a few on Facebook, 28 of you guys on YouTube. It says 133 on X, but I'm not sure if that's current or just who has passed through recently. So shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for joining. Jack is diving for the legs. Jack's body looks red. Yeah, it definitely does. It looks like he's getting lit up. Yeah, Jack turning it up with the striking now. But beautiful knee by Carlos Prates. Head kick for Prates. That looked like it stunned him. Prates is coming on strong here. Knee again for Prates. Jack's hurt. 1-2. Oh, beautiful hook for Prates. Jack lands a big hook of his own. Another knee for Carlos Prates. A big hook for Jack Della Maddalena. Nice slip there by Carlos. Still uber confident, eating a big shot and still completely hands down and in range. Wow, what a fight. What a round. Oop, Prates slipped there on the knee. Jack seems to have recovered well. He was hurt after some of those. Nice jab by Carlos Prates. Right back to that low calf kick. He's really, oh, Jack switching stances. Yeah, that was a tender, that one hurt him. Jack switched stances completely there. That's going to help with the grappling onslaughts. Beautiful knee by Prates. Man, this guy's striking is fun to watch. My God. 41 significant strikes this round. Oh, beautiful elbow by Carlos Prates. Spinning elbow. This is fun, man. Man, Carlos Prates is fun to watch. Oh, knocks him down with the calf kick. Can Jack stand up? Can Jack stand up? He was knocked down with a calf kick. Wow. Yeah, those are really paying dividends for Carlos Prates. Man, I think Carlos is going to finish him in the next round. Jack was already, kind of immobilized and eating some big shots. I don't know if he's going to be able to move well at all in the next round. Man, Carlos Prates is electric on the feet. The biggest thing I'm thinking about, and I always get in the habit of doing this, I think ahead, and I probably shouldn't because I should just enjoy the moment, right? But the ease with which Jack takes him down makes me worry about Islam Makhachev. But we're not talking about Islam Makhachev tonight. We're talking about Jack Della Maddalena, and this is a fun fight. He's getting hit bad with those knees. Water Maloney, he might finish this round 3. Shout out to you. Thanks for joining the live. Thanks for commenting. Hamza, looks like the leg is compromised. 100% it's compromised. And it could be a finish in this next round. Excuse me. All right, let's go, guys. Round 3. Here we go. Carlos Prates, Jack Della Maddalena. You got to think Carlos is up 2-0. Straight away with the body kick. Looks like, yeah, Jack has tucked that compromised leg to the back now. Jack is now fighting out of the orthodox position. Yeah, that leg is really hurt. Let's see what Jack can do out of this position, though. As Paul Felder says, that's, he's comfortable in that stance, but it's not his primary stance. So, that shows just how bad Carlos hurt that calf. Carlos Prates is looking to get a finish here. I think this is his best opportunity thus far to get a finish. Jack is compromised. He's in a stance that is not his favorite stance. He's got a compromised leg, and he's looking to spam grapple in the middle of the octagon. Carlos has got to get – there we go. All right, Carlos breaking free. Good takedown defense there by Carlos Prates. Jack is split open bad on the top of the head. Oh, beautiful body kick by Carlos Prates. That knee, again, is money for Prates. Boom. Man, you got to feel bad for Jack. I'm a JDM fan, but how can you not love this performance by Carlos Prates? Whoa, beautiful knee. Man, that knee is money for Carlos Prates. Yeah, Jack's all but done here. There's nothing that Jack can do on the feet, and he's too compromised, and he's not in his stance that he needs to get those takedowns. I think this thing is just a matter of win at this point. Oh, beautiful straight by Carlos Prates. Man, Carlos looks good. Oh, beautiful head kick. Carlos Prates. Jack, he's making him stand up again. Big swing there for Prates. Another knee. Oh, wow. Absolutely beautiful. Prates making him stand up again. Look at that. That is what they call, that is why they call him the Aura King, kids. Not even eager for the finish, not even rushing the finish. Making Jack stand up and take some more punishment. Look at that. Look at that. He's playing with him at this point. Cigarette emoji. I like it. I like it. He's smoking one after this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Devastating elbows for Carlos Prates. Credit to Jack. He's tough as hell. Yeah, Bisping shouting out his toughness. Nobody's taken that away from him, but he's taken a beating here. Beautiful jab for Prates. Oh, that calf kick again. Oh, again. Again, he's going to make him stand up again. He can't do it. This fight's over. He can't stand up. Prates dropping big elbows, big elbows, big elbows. This is it. This has got to be it. Mike Beltran is in there. Carlos Prates, third round TKO. 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the third round. My goodness. Easy work for Carlos Prates. Straight to Hunter Campbell wants a title shot. Goodness gracious. Wow. Man. You got to feel for Jack, but that was as good as we've ever seen Prates. God, that was embarrassing for Jack. Yeah, agree. Water Maloney, wow. Wow is right. K Money, you better get the pack out, my friend. It seems like you're going to be smoking today. And that was not even close. He's playing with him. I hope JDM comes back in round 3. Yeah, no, that was just not in the cards. Not in the cards. Man, look at the screaming. I mean, Jack is a tough guy. Jack is a fighter, right? I mean, 18-fight win streak. I don't care. I know he's on a 2-fight skid. It's easy to kick a guy when he's down, but somebody who won 18 cage fights in a row is a tough MFer. And to scream in pain like that, he was feeling it. Highlight Reel City. Let's go, Moneyball. Let's go. So how did my tips go, guys? Yeah, good. Congratulations. Thank you on X. Thanks for the comment. Absolutely smushed. Wasn't even close. Those knees are so nasty. Amazing performance by Carlos. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Carlos Prates is the man. Going over there showing some love to Jack Della Maddalena. You got to feel for Jack Della Maddalena, but man, what an impressive performance for Carlos Prates. Performance of the night, says AZ Hans. Absolutely. The aura of Carlos Prates is now insane. K Money, I couldn't agree more. Rogers, I'm going to put that one up on the screen. I like that one. Shout out to K Money. The aura is, in fact, insane. How insane would it be if he gets a quick turnaround and faces Morales? I still think it's Islam Ian. Yes, I agree. Ian Machado Gary does have it's easy to get carried away. It's easy to have recency bias, but Ian Machado Gary does have a win over Carlos Prates, and I think he should be next in line. But I do think that Prates versus Morales is the fight to make for the number 1 contenders fight. And my God, could you imagine that fight? How insane would it be if, yeah, so Ian Gary gets the shot, Carlos Morales, yep, give him 100K. Yes, give him every penny of it. Muhammad, thanks for the commentary. Well done, good results. Looks like Islam defeat has damaged Jack. Yeah, and it's a different type of fight too, just a very different type of fight, but it could have damaged the psyche and the confidence. Thank you, Carlos Prates, for remember me why I'm here watching you. The fighting because there's no effing way. Yeah, well said. Carlos, the Nightmare Prates, is now with Bisping. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Then I'll give my final thoughts, and then I am going to go have breakfast with my family at 9:06 a.m. here in Houston, Texas. Say, look at that old lady, 73 years old. Must be his grandmother. Mrs. Prates, look at that. Nerds in Australia. His daughter's here. Got the whole fam in the cage. I love it. Took him 40 hours to come to Australia. Saying how much he loves Australia. No hard feelings to Jack. It's just business. Part of the game. Jack's a great champ. Shouting out Australia, saying how much he loves it there. Okay, he said in August he's going to be watching Islam Makhachev cage side. I wonder if he just gave away something, because that sounded like clearly someone talked to him about if he wins this, he's going to be cage side for Makhachev Gary. He just said, I'm going to be there in August watching cage side. So that's interesting. Let's go. And Carlos speaks great English too. This guy's a star. This guy's a superstar. I mean, it ain't easy to beat Islam Makhachev. I think Islam Makhachev might be the best fighter on planet Earth. But man, if Carlos Prates could become the champion, what a star we have on our hands. Those knees were just brutal. Thanks for the watch along. I'm going to get Paramount Plus after 6 months. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Prates versus Morales next in July, August. No damage done to Prates. Yeah, I agree. I think Prates beats Morales, recency bias, but still, yeah, that's a good fight. Actually, comment that. Who wins? Okay, who wins, Prates or Morales? What do you guys think? Prates speaking Portuguese now to the Brazilian fans. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Translator's just saying thanks for everybody. Thanks for the support. Let's go. Carlos Prates. Wow. Guys, thank you all. Thank you for joining. Amazing performance by Carlos Prates. I'm going to call Nick and wake his butt up now. Tell him to watch the fights. And then we will be doing a recap either today or tomorrow. And that'll be out for you. And then it is all UFC 328 from here. If it's your first time here, or if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I would sincerely appreciate it if you enjoyed the live commentary. I'm trying to do more of these. Subscribe to the channel. Send the commentary to a friend next time we're live. Let's see if we can get it to hit the algorithm and get some more people in here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm just looking at the chat here. 7 Infamous X. Prates took that man's soul in his country. Yes, he did. Morales wins, in my opinion. Bigger, stronger. Interesting. Morales' best wins are from KOing older grapplers. Prates just beat the brakes off a former striking-based champ. Yep, good point. Prates wins against Morales. Muay Thai all day. I know you got the Muay Thai. You're always locking in with the Muay Thai guys, Rogers. Prates. Morales is a sloppy striker. Prates snipes. Okay. More leaning towards Prates, some for Morales. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Look out for the recap of this fight with Nick and I on Sunday, tomorrow. And then it is all UFC 328 from there. We're going to have some live streams where we predict the main card throughout the week. We're going to be doing all kinds of content leading up to that. We also did a deep dive of Khamzat versus Sean Strickland. That is up now. If you want to go over and check that out, it's about a 35-minute long deep dive that is breaking down striking, grappling, and intangibles of the we're talking too much 170 today. Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. That is on our page if you want to check that out. Deep dive. It's a great one. I really enjoyed that conversation. Thank you all. And again, one last time, if you haven't subscribed already, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Just a couple more. I watched that earlier. It was a great breakdown. Thank you so much, Water Maloney. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.